TFA fam, what is up? What is happening? We're riding solo. Cody is dealing with some sick kids, or kid, I should say. So we gave him the night off. So, I mean, let's be honest. Everybody came here to see me anyway, right? So, I'm the one with all the best advice, best answers. So, he's my wingman. I'm Maverick. He's Goose. So, anyways, we are here to answer all of your questions. We will answer every single one of them. We'll go as long as we have to get every single question answered. So let's just get started. Alexis, week 8 already. Yes, it is. It is crazy that we are actually less than halfway to the end. Fantasy playoffs I think starts in 5 or 7 weeks. I think it is, depending on your league. So yeah, we're getting there. So anyways, Alexis, 2 questions for y'all. Monty Myers, Kirk, pick 2 for my flex. I am going to go with, because I really do not like David Montgomery this week. If I don't have to play him, they're doing this hot hand situation. And there's a possibility that David Montgomery could even get traded before then. We're starting to see more trades. This trade deadline period has been much more entertaining than I think what we usually see. We're starting to see teams get a little bit more aggressive on the trade market. So, but anyways, I would go with, if it's me, I'm going to go with Christian Kirk and Jacoby Myers here. I'm not playing David Montgomery. It's a tough matchup this week against the Dallas Cowboys. So, yeah, that's what I would be rolling with. Walito with the super chat, $5. I'll hop with you, Kip. Walito, let's go. I'll send you a link and you can jump in. Hey, maybe I'll just drop it in the chat. Maybe we'll just have a good old TFA free for all. Here, just let everybody just jump in and just have some fun here. 1 second, Walito, and I'll drop you the link and you can jump in. Heck, just me. Let's have some fun here, right? It's shows for you guys, anyways. Walito, I will drop it over in Discord. Give me 1 second. All right. So, Alexis, and thoughts on this trade I made. I know Cody replied to the Discord, but just wanted to see why I traded away Kittle and Evans and received A.J. Brown and Hawkinson. I think that's a great trade. I think you won that trade. Kittle and Evans. Kittle is very hit or miss, and then Mike Evans. He's been solid, but I think A.J. Brown could be and really the remaining schedule. I think they have the easiest remaining schedule for wide receivers. Philadelphia does, so that's a good trade. And then T.J. Hawkinson has been better than. More consistent on a consistent basis. So I think as long as you got the AJ Brown side, I would be happy with that. Ronnie, what's good, fellas? Need 4 and a flex and full PPR. Aaron Jones, Ramondre. First of all, we're locking in Ramondre Stevenson. He is a top 10 running back this week. Deonta Foreman, Cup. We're locking in Cup. Olave, Pittman, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would go Ramondre, Cup, Olave, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have some question marks with Pittman right now because of, obviously the quarterback change. We really going to have to see how this is going to play out with Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger played for Texas. He was a mobile quarterback, had over 1,900 rushing yards, over 30 touchdowns in his career. But we're going to have to see how this is going to play out. I know Matt Ryan hasn't been good, but trusting a rookie quarterback here in this matchup isn't something that I feel great about. So I think you should knock down Michael Pittman a little bit and not have the same type of, expectations for him, at least this week. I still think he's an okay play. At the very least, I think he's like a solid wide receiver 3. But this is going to change things pretty dramatically without Matt Ryan here at quarterback. What's up, fellas? Another good week, another dub. Happy to hear it. 808. 2-parter here. Half point PPR. First, flex, Devonta Smith or Chris Godwin. I will go Chris Godwin on that one. And then second, Dak or Kirk Cousins. Let me jump over to my quarterback rankings. I would go with I would go with Kirk Cousins here. I think it's a really good matchup against Arizona. A lot of points projected to be scored here in this one, so I would go with Kirk Cousins on this one. Um, and then what was the last one? Play two: Olave, Debo, or Higgins. I would go with the first two on that one. Olave and then Debo against the Rams this week. Like I said, Olave. I was in the top 12 wide receiver. He has been very, very close to what we've seen like last year with Jamar Chase in terms of production. I think he's like 60 receiving yards behind him at this point in terms of pace on the season. Chris Olave has been very, very good so far to start this year, and he was kind of the guy that we talked about as being one of the best, one of the better rookie wide receivers, having a chance to be the rookie wide receiver of the year this year, and he has definitely been the best option out there. Excuse me. So yeah, that's what I would go with there. 808. Eric, what's good? TFA fan? What's good? I'm a bit of a troublemaker troublemaker. And I'm in a bit of trouble after a week because of CMC trade and Brees injury. Want to put together a trade package, but I don't know who to trade for max value. Quarterback is Lamar, running back CMC, Latavius Murray, Kareem Hunt. Wide receivers are Godwin, Debo, Michael Thomas, and Sutton. Who should I aim for based on the pieces that I have? It's tough right now because you have so you have Cortland Sutton, right? Whose value isn't all that high right now because the Broncos quarterback situation is terrible. He hasn't really had the type of season we were hoping that he would have. Um, and so yeah, I mean, so he's tough to trade. Michael Thomas is obviously hurt, and then you have obviously Debo and Godwin, and then for running backs, I mean, you don't really have anything of value there you could trade um, outside of Christian McCaffrey. But the one positive would be if Kareem Hunt were to get traded. Obviously, that would greatly vault his value up. I think there's a possibility you could see him get moved somewhere like the Rams, or definitely seems to be a team that's really looking for a running back. They were looking, they were definitely in the market for a Christian McCaffrey, and before he went to the Rams. So I would probably hold on to Kareem Hunt. And then if Kareem Hunt were to get dealt, then I think that would really make his value go up. And I think then if you wanted to, you could trade him, or you could just hold on to him, and then you're okay. Obviously, you're not going to be able to replace Brees Hall. I mean, it's just not going to happen unless you're just going to go out and trade Christian McCaffrey for some massive haul. But of players, and that's something you could do. But I think if you were looking to do something like that, if you were going to trade Christian McCaffrey, then you would probably look to get somebody like a I don't know. It's tough without seeing other team like a Ramondre Stevenson and Travis Etienne, and I don't even know if that would be enough for what I would want for Christian McCaffrey because I think in this Kyle Shanahan offense, I think he is going to be somebody that you can that is actually in a better situation, obviously, than he was with Carolina, and I think they're going to utilize him heavily. He's probably going to see a similar usage that he saw in Carolina. This is going to be a better offense that he's going to be on. So so right now, I mean, I think if you're going to do something, you're going to have to try to shoot low. Maybe you move one of these wide receivers that you have. But the problem is with them is that Chris Godwin really hasn't been as good as what he was last year. We're still kind of waiting for him to break out, and like I already talked about the other two, so possibly Debo. But again, maybe you go after like a Raheem Mostert type of option, plus somebody else, maybe a bench type of option that I think you could possibly look at. Maybe you try to buy low on like a DeAndre Swift. I think it would be an option. Maybe Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, those type of running back. I think could be acquired a lot easier versus having to try to swing for the fence and go after, one of the top names right now, guys like Josh Jacobs or something like that. Like you're just not going to be able to get that done with probably what you have. So I think that would be where I would go. I would try to look for someone like an RB2, maybe even trying to trade for like a Khalil Herbert. If David Montgomery were to get traded, then that opens the door for Khalil Herbert to be the workhorse back here in the Chicago backfield. He looks like the best guy in the backfield anyway. So that's kind of what I would look to do. Um, anyways, Walito, what's up?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, bro.
Perfect. What is good, TFA?
Not
We in
much,
here
dude. Yeah. It's your first appearance this year, ain't it?
this season? Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
All right,
You know,
let's keep it going.
I've been on a couple shows last year, but yeah, let's get it going.
All right, Emmy back in the chat. Trade Damian Pierce for DeAndre Hopkins or Higgins or Chris Godwin.
Who are your running backs? Okay, J.T. Walker, Pierce, Stevenson, Etienne, and Brian Robinson. Okay. Uh, yes, and I would do it for T. Higgins. I think I would. You know, I like
Man,
what I saw from DeAndre Hopkins last week. Um, I don't know how many targets he had. Maybe I think he had like maybe 10 targets. Was it? Um, but obviously, I just don't know what's going to happen when Hollywood comes back in this offense because they said 4 to 6 weeks, right? So we don't know. But obviously, D Hop is going to be that target hog for the next couple of weeks in that offense. But when Hollywood comes back, I don't know what the split is going to be. Um, and with T Higgins, you know, even though Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd uh, went crazy last week and had crazy games, T Higgins still had like I think was it 5 receptions for 93 yards or something. So even though he was the third best receiver on that team last week, he still had a lot of good numbers. Um, so I think I'm going to go with T Higgins here. But honestly, I think I would do it for all three receivers on here. Honestly,
well, one, I mean, his running backs are just absolutely loaded.
yeah, this is why I think you can do the trade.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, if those would be the wide receivers I'd be looking to acquire. You know, like I think with a lot of these names, I mean, you could. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Damian Pierce that you move.
Yeah,
Maybe you move Ramondre Stevenson. Maybe they, with Bill Belichick, you can never trust that dude. And with Damian Harris now back, I mean, Damian Harris is probably going to be more utilized than what he was last week against the Bears.
coming
And
off from injury.
yeah, I mean, so it's possible that he digs in a little bit more into Ramondre Stevenson's workload. So this really could be a pretty solid buying opportunity to trade somebody like Ramondre Stevenson. It's not like you're hurting for any running back that you have. I think the other one that I think that not a lot of people are talking about is Kenneth Walker. I mean, Kenneth Walker. So far they've been in positive game scripts all three games they've played. He has 3 targets on the season.
Yeah,
I really want to see what's going to happen whenever they are trailing in a game and they have to throw the ball heavily. What is that going to do to his usage? Because I think right now the Seahawks are playing above their head. They're not as good as what they look as what their record indicates, and they've played some really bad teams. They really haven't played anybody that's really good yet. And so if he's not going to be utilized in the passing game, I think it's because their second half schedule is not kind. It gets much harder after the Giants this week. They have the Chiefs on their schedule still. I know that the Raiders, which we can say whatever you want to think about the Raiders, but the Raiders, I think they're a better team than what their record indicates.
yeah, they got the
But
Bucks and they got the Bucks in 2 weeks.
yeah, they get the Bucks. But if this Bucks offense can turn it around, again, like I said, the Raiders, they get the Rams twice still. They have the Chiefs. They have the 49ers. Like this isn't going to be as easy as what we've seen from him. So his value is not any higher than what it could be right now. And so he could be the guy you also maybe look to trade. And you trade a Kenneth Walker, and you could probably even maybe get somebody, especially if somebody that whoever in your league, maybe had Brees Hall or had one of these running backs just went down that's really hurting at running back. If they have a stud running or a stud wide receiver like a Stephon Diggs or even maybe try to get AJ Brown and maybe have them throw in something a little bit more on top of that because of how well Kenneth Walker has played. And I think that's the direction you could go. Like you don't necessarily just have to trade Damian Pierce. I think really all these guys are guys you could look for. I just don't love DeAndre Hopkins, T. Higgins, or Chris Godwin. If I had to pick one of them, I would probably go with Chris Godwin because I think better days are ahead for him. And he's starting to see a lot more targets. And I think this Bucks offense is eventually going to turn it around.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point with Kenneth Walker. Great point you just made with the targets. I think when DJ Dallas went out last week and had like 4 or 5 targets, and Kenneth Walker had 0. So
he's pretty much playing. He's pretty much playing like the Rashad Penny role. I mean, that's pretty much what he's doing. Just like Rashad Penny last season, when Rashad Penny went on that crazy tear, it happened. It's the same thing. Like he didn't see any targets, but they had positive game script pretty much every single week that they were playing.
There's never going to be a 3-down back in this offense. It's just never happening. It's always Penny or Walker, always first down, second down. and then it's always DJ Dallas or Travis Homer or whoever they have in that backfield on third down. And so, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't think, especially in PPR leagues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so that's why I maybe look to that's why I kind of feel this way about this. With Kenneth Walker, like I think he's actually one of the best buy or sell high players there is out there. I'm not just going to sell him for anything, but
yeah,
if you can withstand it, and like this team that right here with all these running backs, you can withstand losing Kenneth Walker. And if you're really hurting at wide receiver, I don't think he said what his wide receivers were. Um, but if you're really hurting a wide receiver, this could be an opportunity to get like where we're talking about an alpha wide receiver here for somebody like Kenneth Walker, and I think that would be a way you could go. So let's keep it moving here. Truth Teller, what's up, Truth Teller? Happy you're back in the chat. Got some big decisions to make. I asked last week and asked today, but I want to triple check. First, here's my team: Gino, AJ Browns, Amon Ra, D Hop, Kamara, Cook, Patty Fry, Debo, Chuba Hubbard, and Judy.
okay.
And then let's see,
So, okay.
Stafford and Eagles D, Njoku on IR.
So, what's the
Okay,
question? Is he just asking
I had to keep
who?
going down. It looks like we were okay. So now trouble checking. Kamara and Debo for Jalen
Okay.
Hurts and ETN. Are you doing this trade? I got another trade for you too. I would do this trade. I would actually do this trade.
Yeah, especially if your quarterback is Gino. Yeah. Yes.
Jalen Hurts is like the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks are such a cheat code above all the other quarterbacks. And so getting him, I think, is huge. And then Travis Etienne now that he is the lead back here in this offense, this Jaguars offense, and it looks like he's going to get like 80, 85% of the snaps here. And if that's the case, like it's really hard to not love him and think that he's a borderline top 12. Now, Kamara could be interesting. Now, there's rumors out there that he's on the trading block. I really wouldn't think it would be crazy
That
though
that's
if you're
not
the Saints to
happening.
do it. I
That's
don't
not
know.
happening.
They're in a rough spot. And Dennis Allen, I said it from the very beginning when they made him the head coach that this was going to be a terrible hire. He's a terrible coach. And
Yeah.
but like it's not crazy. Alvin Kamara is what 27, I think, years old.
Yes.
And so like, what's your window? Like, what's their true window? Like, it feels like they're kind of heading toward a rebuild. They should have went to a rebuild. They shouldn't have given up their first round pick like they did. Now, obviously they got Chris Olave, who looks like he's going to be a stud that we talked about. Their other offensive tackle, Penning, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hurt, obviously, I
Yes.
believe, and so we don't get to see that. But they are definitely in a rebuild mode. And so
Yeah.
if I'm the Saints, I'm trading Alvin Kamara.
It really all depends on what you get for him, and that's pretty much what can we get for Alvin Kamara. That's just what I am wondering because
If it's a 3rd round pick, are you doing it?
no,
I
no,
think
I'm
you.
not.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
It would have to be at least a 2nd round pick. If I'm trading only for a pick, it has to be a second. But honestly, I would just look to add more assets. I just would look to add some young players that can help the team. Um, Obviously, I trust the front office. We've made some good drafts, some good picks in the last couple of years, but we just traded a 1st round pick, so I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going off the rails here. We got a lot of
Yeah.
questions. Okay. So with this trade, I would make this trade. Yes, I would. I would do this deal.
Yeah, there's not much. There's not really a ceiling for Kamara in this offense. Honestly, he's a good floor guy, but with Taysom Hill in this offense, taking wildcat snaps and just running it for touchdowns, and they're using Mark Ingram at the goal line. So yes,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we agree. We would make this trade. All right. Let's go back up here because we had to get through the 17 other here with Truth. John Kelly. Hey guys, my team was Mahomes, CMC, Saquon, Sun God, D Hop, Keenan, Noah Fant, Latavius Murray, and Patterson. I traded CMC and Murray for Eckler.
did I win that trade? I'm not gonna consider Latavius Murray in there. So it's basically
Yeah, he doesn't
CMC.
matter. It's
Yeah,
really you traded
it's
CMC
CMC
for
for Eckler.
Eckler.
I mean, I get it with with the last 3 games Eckler has played, he's been incredible. He's the RB1 of the season, and but I like it. I think Eckler is going to keep on being the RB1 in fantasy. Especially with Mike Williams. I think they announced this morning that he's expected to be out for at least 4 weeks. And with the amount of targets Eckler was already seeing, now you remove Mike Williams from that offense, I think that's just more targets for Austin Eckler in that offense. Josh Palmer, I think, is injured right now. I think he had a concussion last week. Um, we don't know if Keenan Allen can stay on the field. So really, Eckler, he becomes that first option in the passing game, and they've been trailing a lot in the last games. The last couple games Chargers played. So um, yes, I like this trade. I like Eckler over CMC for the rest of the season.
It's actually wild to look at how many targets Austin Eckler has.
I know
He has 58 right now on the
that's
season.
that's wild.
The next closest is Christian McCaffrey with 43, and the next closest after that is Leonard Fournette with 38 targets.
That is wild.
He is on pace for 100. I think it was 130 targets almost on the
Oh yeah,
year.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's especially if this is a PPR format like that is where it's at because the last 2 weeks he saw 10 receptions week 6, 12 receptions week 7, and
yeah,
he's not seeing like some massive in terms of carries.
yeah,
The most he's
and,
seen all year is 16, but for the most part he's seeing around 12 to 14 carries. But he's just being absolutely peppered with targets because
yeah,
they don't have anybody else. Kind of like you mentioned with Mike Williams now being out, Keenan
yeah.
Allen should
And
be
the
good to
thing,
go. I think
yeah,
coming off their bye. But
yeah, and the thing with Austin Eckler is, you just mentioned he got 58 targets. He catches almost all of his targets. I think like out of his 58 targets, he has like 50 receptions, something close like that. Um,
yeah,
I,
so he has 58 targets, 53 receptions on the year
yeah,
so far.
that's fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I think last week he had 12 targets. He caught out of them. 12 receptions on 12 targets last week. So, um,
I don't
yeah,
think it's going to trade. So yeah, I think you won the trade. It's
yep,
close. Obviously, it's still Christian McCaffrey, but I still think with everything here, I still think that you probably won this trade. And then, do I try for a tight end? I don't think you need to try to trade for a tight end. I would pick one of them up. I think there's plenty of options out there. I think Harrison Bryant is one that I kind of like for this week.
yeah,
With David Njoku looking like he's going to miss a little bit of time, but they're also on bye next week, so I think David Njoku will be back post bye because that'll put them in around 3 weeks time span by that point. It didn't sound like it was that serious, but Harrison Bryant could be an option. Greg Dulcich could be an option to pick up. Kate Otten.
Kate Auden, yep,
Yeah.
Kate Auden.
I mean, so I think there's some options here that you could look to. I would not trade for a tight end.
I think Earl Smith is also a good streaming option for this week.
Yeah. Irv
Uh,
Smith, I think you could look at somebody like
yep,
him as well. So, yeah.
against Arizona. So,
Yeah.
and I don't hate Juwan Johnson either. You know,
Just
got
can't help yourself. Just
just
have
have
to,
to
have to,
mention
mention,
him.
have to mention this, the same.
Just have to mention him.
All right, Gator fan. Hey guys, I'm ready. I'm already starting Cooks, Henry Chubb, Pierce, and Connor. Who do I start with Cooks and full PPR? Renfro, Marquise Goodwin, Paris Campbell, or Allen Robinson?
Uh,
That's not Goblin. That's Goodwin. It's a big difference. Big difference. Um, uh, the,
I
I think I would go with Allen Robinson.
I don't know.
I can't trust Paris Campbell with what he's done because again, a new quarterback, new
Yeah,
situation here,
yeah. If
and so
yeah,
I'm not going to trust the 21 targets he's seen over the last 2 games. Now with Matt Ryan out, and then Renfro I think would be interesting, but it sounds like Darren Waller could be back this week if he's able to return. I think that really limits Hunter Renfro. Not
yeah,
that even
and
Hunter Renfro has been great with Darren Waller out,
he
and
hasn't.
then
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow has not really seen a lot of targets this year. In the games he's played, I don't I don't remember seeing him get that much targets. Um, even with Darren Waller out.
no, the most targets he saw 10 targets week 2, but then
Okay.
since then he saw 4 and 3 since then in the 4
Yeah,
games that he's played. So he's not seeing targets. So I
and
know
then
maybe it's chasing a couple weeks ago performance with where Allen Robinson finally had a good game, but I think he's your safest option that you have here.
yeah, and they've really been running the football a lot. Also, they've really turning into a run-heavy offense. Obviously, with Josh McDaniels running this offense, it's not surprising. But and with the way Josh Jacobs has been playing, how can you not run the football? So he's
Yeah, it
been,
looks like the best running back in the league right now.
yeah, he really he really
It's just
does.
wild. Anyways, okay. Jose starts it half PPR. Dimes, Danny Dimes, Hunter Henry, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tyreek, D Hop, Higby, ETN, McPherson, Titans D, bench, Ramondre, Najee, Keenan, Godwin, Sutton, and Joku out. So they're flexing ETN, I'm guessing. Yes.
So Henry and Jacobs, yes.
So I would play I would play Ramondre over Travis Etienne.
Wait, who did the Jaguars play this week?
The Broncos. Did you not
Broncos?
watch my video?
No, I did not.
Wow.
Sorry.
So I have Ramondre Stevenson at 5th. They play the Jets this week. Where Travis Etienne, they're playing the Broncos. Both are very similar matchups. But I just think that right now, I just can't sit Ramondre Stevenson as well as he's playing.
Yeah, I would also. I would consider Chris Godwin in there also, but yeah, I think I would go Ramondre. Yeah. I think you have to.
Since you didn't watch, since I have all this information from when recording that video, Ramondre Stevenson, the Jets, they rank 14th in rush DVOA on the year. They've also allowed the 9th most rushing touchdowns and the 18th most rushing yards. Ramondre Stevenson over the past 4 games, he is the RB3 overall. He's also seen the 6th most targets. He's also seen the 6th most rushing yards, and he's also with 3 touchdowns. He ranks 10th in yards after contact per attempt. And he also ranks top 5 in carries inside the 5 over that span. Now, Travis Etienne in this matchup against Denver, again, it's not terrible. They've allowed the 15th most rushing yards, 13th most rushing touchdowns. They've also allowed the 7th most receptions, the 9th most receiving yards to running backs, 18th in rush DVOA on the year. And then, again, last week we saw Travis Etienne. We saw him play 81% of the snaps last week, carried the ball 14 times, saw 5 targets. And this was the 3rd week in a row that he's eclipsed 100 total yards. So I like Travis Etienne a lot, but I prefer Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I'm probably sticking with Tyreek and D Hop there from that.
Yeah,
I think Godwin's close, and I actually think Keenan doesn't matter because they're on bye. So really, it would be between Godwin and D Hop. But I think I
just hate sitting Chris Godwin. I just don't want to sit Chris Godwin. But with this roster, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. So for me, I would switch Ramondre with ETN. Jose is what I would look to do. Ronnie, what's good? Need 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Aaron Jones, Ramondre, Foreman, Cup, Olave, Pittman, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, okay, the wide receivers, we can just go ahead and lock in Cup. And for me, it's Olave.
Pittman.
Okay, so we're sitting Chris Olave and Ramondre. Oh, I guess we need a flex, so we can still get to him. Running backs, we have, for me, it would be Aaron Jones and Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, is James Conner playing this week?
Yeah, sounds like he is. Cliff Kingsbury yesterday said that he is trending towards playing.
Yeah, so we're not starting Eno. So, yes, Jones and Ramondre.
So then who are you going with flex? I would assume it's between Olave and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would go Olave in the flex. So I'm starting Cup, Olave, and Pittman.
I would go Cup, Olave, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I just think that with obviously with a new quarterback in this offense, he's gonna turn into that one guy, right? He's gonna find that one guy that he can trust to get him the football every time, and I think that guy is gonna be Michael Pittman. And they play Tennessee, right? If I'm not mistaken. So, no, they don't play Tennessee. What I'm saying, they're playing. Who are the Colts playing?
Who are the Colts playing?
Yeah.
The Washington football team. The Commanders.
Yeah, they're playing Washington. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm playing Pittman. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Walito. We're gonna have to go a little faster here. I looked at all the questions, and there are 1,000 questions ahead of us. We are 30 minutes. It's true TFA style behind the chat. So let's move a little quicker here on some of these. Michael Brown, pick 2. Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Dameon Pierce.
The 2 running backs.
So I'm like Amon-Ra this week. I'm gonna sit Aaron Jones and play Amon-Ra St. Brown and Dameon Pierce. And then Jose, did we already answer this? The same one we just answered?
Yeah.
We just answered that one. Jose Waivers, Dak, Tua, Brady, Cousins. So who's he starting at quarterback? Oh, Danny Dimes. Oh yeah, I would play
Brady.
Tua. Really?
Tua?
Yeah, Tua. I mean, they're playing the Lions.
I know, but how much is he going to need to throw the football?
I
I
don't
think
know.
they
It's
just
it's. I think if the Lions have all their weapons back, if DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have all these weapons back. I mean, their offense looked pretty dynamic, and I believe it is in Detroit, so it's inside the dome.
it looked awful last week.
Well, yeah, but they also, once again, they lost Amon-Ra St. Brown for most of that game. They didn't have DeAndre
Yeah,
Swift, and I think I
I just think that
believe that the Dolphins have like the second or third highest implied point total on the week. Let's see, let's update this real quick.
yeah,
Yep, they're second. They're
I
second
just think
applied
that
point totals,
I
and
just
it's
think this
also the
this yeah.
highest total on the slate too.
Yeah, I just think this Bucks Ravens game is going to be a very high scoring shootout in this week on Thursday night. And I think this is a get back. This is a get right game for Tampa Bay after the terrible game they played last week against Carolina. So I think
I've been saying that for a while now too, Walito, and it has.
yeah, but this Raven secondary has been awful this year. They've been bad, and you know, if Mike Evans had not dropped that 70-yard touchdown last week at the start of the game, it would not have looked that bad. But you know, Mike Evans had a lot of drops last week, so I think Brady and Evans are gonna try to get back on the same page this week. But I'm just going Brady. I think this is a spot where Brady could throw for 300 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, because I have Tua actually at my fifth highest quarterback, and I have Tom Brady at 14. Yeah.
14.
Yep.
The disrespect.
So my rankings, my quarterback, I have Tua, then Lamar, then Kirk Cousins, Dak, Danny Dimes actually have at 9, Justin Fields at 10, and then I have Geno, Derek Carr.
You have Geno Smith over Tom Brady.
Yeah, you have to show me. I'm not just ranking guys blindly just because of their name.
I'm aware, but this Tampa Bay offense is not going to be like this bad for the rest of the season. At some point, they're going to get back on the right track and score 40 or 50 points, and I think that's going to be this week.
It's hard to trust Thursday night games too. By the way, I don't like messing with them. So anyways, it'd be two for me.
When you have the Colts and the Broncos playing on Thursday night, I get it, but
and then at tight end, I don't Jose. And this is a different team. I don't think you need a tight end. You have Tyler Higbee. Like none of those guys that I think that. I mean, I like Dalton Schultz. Like if you want to go with Dalton Schultz, I think I would probably prefer rest of season Dalton Schultz to Tyler Higbee. But that would be the guy that I would look at.
Yep.
Gator, which defense? Denver, New England, Indy, or Jax?
New England.
I think it'd be either. Yeah, I'd probably go New England. Emmy dropped Dobbs for Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah,
I think you could.
Yeah, I like it.
Truth, the first trade was discussed and agreed on for both parties. Now this trade is sending me to the guy who is in last place. I'll send him Debo and Amon-Ra for Kupp and Kenneth Walker.
Oh yeah, if you're getting Kupp and Kenneth Walker for Debo and Amon-Ra, yes,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's just Or he could do Kenneth Walker for Debo straight up. No, do the other one with Kupp.
Get Kupp. Yeah. Get the best player.
All right. Need one tight end, Patty Fry, Greg Dulcich, or Taysom Hill. I'm going to go Patty Fry.
Yeah, Patty Fry. Yep.
Yeah. What one are you talking or taking out of the two? Oh, yeah, we're okay. We already
Schultz. Was it the Schultz or Gesicki?
No, that was the trade. He either said he could do Kupp and Kenneth Walker, or you could do Kenneth Walker and Debo.
Yeah, that's Kupp. That's Kupp.
Okay. I mean, again, pick 2 running backs at a flex. JT, ETN. Oh, this is going to be that one. So which 3 are you going to play? Which 3 running backs?
JT, Ramondre, and Walker.
Yeah, I would go Ramondre Stevenson, Kenneth Walker, and Jonathan Taylor, but it's close. I actually have Jonathan Taylor ranked 12th overall this week on running backs.
Yeah, so we agree. Yeah, JT Walker and Stevenson.
I would,
Yep.
the Fractal Rain.
Nice name.
Yeah, a nice picture there. Full PPR, 2 flex, Lockett, Brian Robinson, Lazard, Josh Reynolds, Khalil Herbert, or Darius Slayton. So Tyler Lockett, we can lock him in,
Yep.
especially with no DK Metcalf.
Yep. I really like Lockett this week.
And then I'm gonna go with Alan Lazard.
I'll go Brian Robinson.
I can't mess with him. Like he has been legitimately bad. Like he's seen like 37 carries over the last 2 games and has done nothing with them. You know, I know we should give him the benefit of the doubt. He's obviously the man got shot, very recently, and so like I'm not going to necessarily hold it all against him. But with what he's done, he just hasn't done anything. And so he scored a touchdown last week that saved him, but it still wasn't a great week. And he's averaging like 8.6 fantasy points per game since he's come back. Like he just hasn't been very good at all.
Yeah, but I don't want to mess with that Packers offense either. They've been, I think they had one offensive touchdown against Washington last week. So if they can't score more than 1 touchdown against Washington, I don't know what they can do against that Bills defense. The Bills have had a very good. I don't know where they're ranked, but they have a very good pass rush. The Bills do. So, and Rodgers been getting sacked a lot lately. That offensive line has not been really good for Green Bay. So I don't know how much time he's going to have in that pocket, and throw really quality targets to Alan Lazard. So I think I would go B-Rob, but I don't really like it.
All right. Agree to disagree. Andrea, again, Daniel Jones or Andy Dalton? That's where we're at. I'm going to go Daniel Jones.
Andy Dalton. Against the Raiders, Andy Dalton.
It's so disrespectful that they're playing Andy Dalton over James Winston.
Andy Dalton's been playing better.
Did we not watch the same game against the Cardinals? He looked terrible against the Cardinals.
He did not look that bad. One of the pick six was not his fault. Literally went through the hands of Marquez Callaway because he cannot catch the football. The second one was his fault. The pick in the end zone, I will say that is Andy Dalton's fault also. So I would say 2 interceptions were his fault. But Jameis has not been better. Jameis has not been any better.
Well, James hasn't had as many opportunities. He's been hurt. So, Tam.
But it's not a time. It's not a time.
Please pick 3 to start: Chubb, Walker, Gus, or Pollard. I'm first 2 are locks.
Tony Pollard.
Zeke is not Pollard.
Yeah, Zeke. I don't think Zeke is going to play this week. Looks like he's not going to play.
That could be very interesting if he doesn't, especially if he goes out in balls. It's high time they should give him the backfield.
Yeah, well, pretty much every report about Ezekiel Elliott is saying that he's not expected to play this week. So, and apparently he has a torn MCL. So this is not good.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. I mean, I think this all the time, and then all of a sudden Ezekiel somehow is able to play through stuff. So
yeah, but Tony Pollard has looked way better than Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, absolutely. So, all right, last fish in the pond. I lost my survivor pool last weekend since Pat's loss. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was shocked that the Bears, especially, they didn't just win. They pretty much dominated there for most of that game.
Yeah.
So, and I have one more survivor pool left with 60 entries. Thoughts on Dolphins, Titans, or Falcons? Dolphins against the Lions. You got the Titans going up against the Texans. And then the Falcons are playing. Who are they playing?
I think they're playing
Carolina.
Carolina, yeah. I'll go Tennessee. because I want to keep Dolphins for later on in the season because I do think that the Dolphins, um, if we look at Miami's schedule, they do have some pretty winnable games coming up. Obviously, they got the Bears this week, right? No, the Lions. But they have the Bears the week after that. They get the Texans in 3 weeks. So I think those two games are pretty winnable, and you can use the Dolphins for those 2 weeks. Um,
It's been kind of interesting. So right now we had the money's coming in on the Texans because
is it?
the Titans opened up at 5.5. It is already bet all the way down to 2.
You have to assume that's probably for Ryan Tannehill's injury, right? Probably.
Yeah, but I mean the Texans for the most part have stayed in most games they've played. I mean they haven't been getting the doors blown off of them.
No, no. But even if the Titans, I mean, go out there and roll out Malik Willis, I still think they win this game.
Oh, it's going to be a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. It's going to be
Yeah, for sure.
40 carries of Derrick Henry. Anyways, so yeah, I think I would go Dolphins, honestly.
Well, that would be the same
Because if you
for
lose, you're out. I mean, it's survivor pool, so like, and
yeah.
I don't love the Titans or the Falcons. I mean, still the Falcons. Yes, they're playing the Panthers, and I don't expect the Panthers to continue to do what they just did last week. But I don't trust. I don't trust Arthur Smith as far as I can throw him. He's terrible. I mean, he's another terrible coach.
Oh yeah,
They were trailing by what? Like what was it? Like 20, 30, almost 30 points last week, and
yeah,
they threw the ball a total of 13 times in that game.
yeah. They're losing by 20, and they're still pounding the rock with Tyler Algier as if. Well, okay, I'm not. I don't want to go on a rant for too long about this, but Arthur Smith should never have gotten a head coaching job in this league. The only reason he got a job is because he was the offensive coordinator in an offense with Derrick Henry, where he was just running the ball 30 times a game and running for 200 yards. That's literally the only reason why Arthur Smith got a head coaching job. So
He's terrible.
yeah, he really is.
Hector, Brian Robinson or Rashad Bateman in the flex?
Bateman.
Yeah, I would agree. TX, good evening. Good evening, TX. Which two to play between Pollard, Gus, and Swift likely playing?
Yeah, that's Pollard and Swift.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
I hope he actually plays. I hope he plays. If that man could just stay healthy. I love DeAndre Swift, and we all know that Walito loves DeAndre Swift. I mean,
Yeah.
his Avi is literally DeAndre Swift and Brandon Cooks, who could be on his way out as well. Could be getting traded.
Well, hopefully to Green Bay. Hopefully.
That wouldn't be a bad spot. So yeah, it's those two, and then who to flex between Debo, Monty, or Scary Terry? I'm gonna go Debo.
I'll go. I'll go McLaurin. Tyler Heineke loves Terry McLaurin. He loves him, and he had a pretty solid game last week with Tyler Heineke. So, and I just don't know because Debo last week wasn't very good, and I think that with CMC is going to be more involved this week than he was last week, right? So I don't know how that plays out for Debo Samuel in this offense. So I'll just go with Terry McLaurin. Because
Yeah.
I don't think Debo's going to see the rushing opportunities that he used to have now with CMC there. I think they're probably going to avoid handing him out the football, or he's not going to get as many carries. That's for sure. And Elijah Mitchell's going to come in. He's coming back after the bye probably. So also,
Yeah, we'll see on that.
yeah, because they're on bye next week, right?
Correct.
I think Elijah Mitchell could possibly come back week 10.
Also, some a little bit of news too that I saw today. Kyron Williams was activated to return
Yes.
as well. So if he's sitting out there on anybody's waiver wires, he definitely should be added at this point. Now, I'm sure the Rams will trade for somebody and it'll just make it useless, and Kyron Williams will really have much of an opportunity. But he certainly is. As things stand right now, if they don't trade for a running back, then I think that Kyron Williams could end up taking over this job because clearly, the Rams do not like Darrell Henderson. I mean, we
Yeah,
saw it
and I'm
last year. They
surprised.
traded
Yeah,
for Sony Michel, and they almost immediately installed him as the workhorse back.
yeah, and I'm surprised that Cam Akers has not been traded yet.
I think teams know that they want to trade him, and teams are like, no, we don't. We're not going to give you anything for him, and they'll probably end up just releasing him here. Pretty. I would be surprised
Yeah,
if it's not this week. It's definitely going to be early next week. Probably right after the trade deadline, he'll be cut.
makes sense.
Brunel Jacobs. Should I start Rashad Bateman if he's active or Patty Fry at flex?
Patty Fry.
Yeah, I think I would too. Also,
Yeah,
thoughts on Michael Pittman Jr. now the Colts are starting Ellinger at quarterback. I think there's some truth to that they we typically see, especially rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, really like lean heavily on one player and just almost exclusively look for that guy. And it very well could be Michael Pittman because who else is it really going to be? I think game script will have a lot to do with it, but I don't think anybody can be as bad as Matt Ryan. But then again, you say that, and then there's always somebody worse, other worse options. So I would have tempered expectations. I don't think that he is the same where we were thinking of it as like a locked in wide receiver one, before the season started, or at least that's
yeah,
kind of what we were hoping
and
for. I think now he's more of a I think mid to late wide receiver two right now.
we saw Matt Ryan throw over 50 times multiple games, and I don't think that's going to happen with Sam Ellinger.
No.
They're not going to let him throw 50 times. They're going to be running the football the entire game. Maybe Pittman sees, I would say 7 or 8 targets. It would be a fair number for Michael Pittman this week. I just don't know how good these targets are going to be. We haven't seen this dude play quarterback a lot. But, he's been known to be a rushing quarterback, so I don't.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was saying. In college, he had over 1,900 rushing yards and over
yeah.
30 rushing touchdowns.
So I just think if he's gonna drop back, maybe he's just not gonna throw the football. He's just gonna run as if just some Lamar Jackson action in there. Who knows?
Yeah. Bob McDonald. Should I trade James Robinson, Hunter Renfrow for Gabe Davis and Antonio Gibson? Yes, I think I would. The Hunter Renfrow thing doesn't really matter. I mean, he's been
Yeah,
kind of useless so far this year.
yeah. I just don't know how. Just don't know the role James Robinson is gonna have in this offense. Obviously, I don't expect him to get a lot of work this week. After just getting traded first game this week, maybe he gets like 4 or 5 carries. It's going to be a lot of Michael Carter this week, but he's going to get eased back in. They said they're going to ease him. They're going to ease him slowly into this offense. So I'm not expecting James Robinson to get a lot of work this week.
No, he's going to mix in, and I think it's going to be more of a committee. Though the hope with Antonio Gibson is that once again, kind of like all these other running backs that are available, that he can somehow get traded. In my mind, because I think there's been some rumors that he could possibly be heading to the Rams.
Yeah, but we've been saying that about so many running backs this season.
Yeah, I mean, there's like every running back's on the block right now, right? Like Kareem Hunt, you have David Montgomery.
Yeah, but the only one who's been traded so far is Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
So
all the other
ones, James Robinson too, but we're talking about Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, like everybody's running backs on the block, and it's like almost inevitably everybody says the Chiefs. I'm like, why would the Chiefs trade for a running back? They don't use their running backs now, and now you think they need to trade for a running back? Like, that's just not really Andy Reid's MO at all, and that's why the Chiefs just usually go with retreads. And obviously, they went with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which was a big mistake, but they don't need a running back. But anyways. Mark Maloney, Kyle Pitts, or Taysom. I'm going to go with Kyle. No, actually, I'm going to go with Taysom Hill.
What about? Can you play Harrison Bryant or Kate On?
Yeah, those would be better options.
Yeah, I really don't want to play either of these guys. Kyle Pitts it just seems like he cannot have more than 10 yards in a game. And then Taysom Hill, maybe he goes out there this week and has 25, but I'm not going to take that risk because his floor is 2 points. His ceiling is 30. I'm not gonna take that risk with him. So if I would rather play some waiver options. So as I said, Harrison Bryant, Kadon, Irv Smith, even if he's out there,
Yeah, I
I
think all
think
of those are options. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's just this. I don't know what Arthur Smith is doing. It is incredibly frustrating to watch what they've done. You have
no.
Kyle Pitts and Drake London, and
He's
they don't
he's
use them
not
at
he's
all.
not coming back next year. He's not coming back next year.
I hope not. He's been
If the
terrible.
Falcons bring him back, that would be stupid.
Anyways, Emmanuel using not a fake account, wife's account. Uh, thanks to you guys, I'm 7-0. I'm 12 team, half point
Let's
PPR.
go.
Hurts, Diggs, AJ Brown, and Joku. Fournette, Stevenson, Connor, Eno, Singletary, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Bateman. Who could I trade for Andrews?
Well,
I don't
obviously, yeah,
honestly. I wouldn't make any move like this.
yeah,
You have Njoku, and this is a short term injury for Njoku, from what it sounds like. Like I said, they play this week and then they go on bye, so you wouldn't even be able to use him anyways next week. And I think there's probably a pretty decent shot that you see him back week 10. Um, and so I'm not going all out to try to trade for Mark Andrews, and it's going to take a ton. I mean, you're probably would need to trade like Ramondre Stevenson for him, because you're
yeah.
not getting it done with like James Conner and Brandon Ayuk. Like just not going to happen. And then are you going to trade Stephon Diggs or AJ Brown for him? I mean, it's
Yeah. No.
so
This is
I,
why
I, I
I'm not typically a fan of trading for tight ends, like just one tight end in a trade. If you're trading for a tight end and there's like another running back or another wide receiver involved in the trade, that's fine. But just trading only for a tight end, I'm usually not a fan of that. I personally don't do that. I would just rather stream tight ends.
yeah, I'm right there with you. Mark, Cortland Sutton or Deontay Johnson? Oh boy, I'm gonna go with Cortland Sutton.
Is Russell Wilson practicing?
Yeah, he's expected to play. You haven't where he was.
No, because I saw a report that he said himself that he's ready to roll, but uh, if he's saying himself that he's ready to roll, then I'll believe his word.
Yeah, and he was also on the on the plane for 4
I
hours.
saw, I saw that too.
Working out. I guess Could you
Yeah,
imagine? Could you imagine some of the memes today? I saw like some of the comments like about like players that are like were hilarious to me. I was dying laughing at a couple of them. But he's doing too much right now. He's doing way
yeah.
too much. Anyways, yeah,
But
but I would still go Cortland Sutton.
yeah, the
Deontay
Gordon
Johnson, I
son.
just can't. I
Yeah,
can't mess with any of these really any of these Steelers options right now. Armam Tam again. Please pick one flex. Tyler Boyd, Brandon Ayuk, or Alan Lazard.
Ayuk.
I'm gonna go with Alan Lazard.
I just can't with this Packers offense. I just can't. It just looks like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you've seen, but Aaron Rodgers looks done out there. He's he looks done with these guys. I think he's really missing Devontae Adams right now. I just don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to be out there right now. I don't think he wants to play. That's just how I feel. So I'll just go Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, good vibes. Good vibes to
What up,
Walito.
Tam?
Good vibes.
Yes, of course.
Love
Always good
Tam.
vibes.
She's the best. AO rocking with the start two. Amon St. Brown, Olave, or Godwin.
Olave and Godwin. Well, if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry play this week, I will go Amon-Ra.
I'm still gonna go the first two. I'm gonna go Amon Ra and Olave.
Oh, you're gonna sit Godwin?
Yeah.
Because Godwin, I would rank first out of these three.
I have Amon-Ra St. Brown at 9 overall among wide receivers, and I have Chris Olave at 12. And then I have Chris Godwin at 15.
Does that change if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry play?
No.
No.
I think he's the best. I think he's their best wide receiver, and it's
Yeah, but
not
he's not
close.
going to get the targets he's seeing if Thomas and Landry are out there.
But he's gotten there without that. I mean, yes, he saw 14 targets last week for sure, but
Yeah, but you need him. You need him to absolutely catch like a 60 or 70 yard bomb, or a long touchdown for him to have a good week if Thomas and Landry are out there.
I mean, he's been a top 20 wide receiver every single week. You have to go all the way back to week 2 for the last time that he wasn't.
Yeah, because Michael Thomas has been out for the last 4 games.
Michael Thomas is a bum.
Stop it.
We don't got time to get into that. All right, Mark, should I make a trade? Cousins, running back, CMC, Saquon, Aaron Jones, Mostert, or Pacheco, wide receivers, or Sutton, Lamb, Deontay, Pierce, Boyd. Tight ends are Pitts, Taysom. Think I should upgrade to another wide receiver. Sutton, Lamb, Deontay.
I don't think you have to. I think maybe what you could do is try and trade.
I would trade Raheem Mostert if I was going to.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna wait until after this week because I think he's gonna have a big game against the Lions.
Yeah, it depends on if you're starting him or not.
Yeah, but realistically, I think Mostert could go out there this week, run for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and his value goes up even more.
Yeah, so that's why I would wait until after this week if I'm gonna move Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, it's not a
But
bad
yeah,
idea.
I think then you could package Mostert and maybe Deontay Johnson to get a better wide receiver, something like that.
I
Or
don't think
Tyler
you're.
Bo-
I'll
or
say this.
even-
I don't think you're desperate to like have to go out and
Yeah.
add another wide receiver. But if you wanted to, you could.
And I think Tyler Boyd is a sell high wide receiver right now after the big game he had last week. I think Boyd is a guy that could possibly, if you can sell high right now on Tyler Boyd, I would do that.
I spent all offseason talking about Tyler Boyd and why he was such an incredible value sleeper option. He was going to like the 12th round.
Yeah, I'm surprised Cody didn't do that.
I know. Well, Cody has a short shelf life on how long he
he
hops on
jumped off.
bandwagons and then he jumps off.
He jumped off the ship.
Yeah. All right. Abraham, sup guys? What's up, Abraham?
What is up?
AO, do I trade away Hunt, Gus, and Gabe Davis for Thielen and Derrick Henry? Is that Derrick Henry?
Probably. I don't think he would trade for Hunter Henry. So
I don't know. This isn't a big haul. I would think it would take more to get Derrick Henry. AO, if that is Derrick Henry, absolutely.
Yes.
Stop what you're doing, run
Yes.
over, hit the accept button real quick, and then come back. If that's Derrick Henry, yes, you would. If it's Hunter Henry, no, we're not doing it.
No.
I'm just throwing it out there. Is there any other Henrys that we might not be thinking of?
I don't think so.
Okay. Crab Gravy. I still love that name. That's such a great name, Crab Gravy. Walito ripping up off facts.
Thank
Abraham, Lost Brees, pour one out. Moment of silence for Brees Hall. Okay. So all I got is Jacob, Sanders, and Najee. Should I try and trade for any running backs? I have Sutton, Pittman, Jefferson, Hawkinson, and Boyd.
I don't think so.
It's tough because like you're not trading anything for Najee. Najee's been awful.
Exactly. And if you're gonna trade Miles Sanders, you would need an upgrade at running back.
How would you feel about trading Josh Jacobs though? Like you have to ask yourself: is Josh Jacobs going to be able to support this all year? Like, is what we're seeing from him the last 3 or 4 weeks? Is he going to be able to do this all year? And I would say no.
No, but if I'm going to trade Josh Jacobs right now, I would need to get someone like Eckler, JT, CMC, Saquon. I would need to get someone like that. One of these 4 that I just mentioned. Or
what
Nick,
if it was
or
like
Nick,
what
maybe
if it was
Nick,
like a
Nick Chubb,
like Dalvin Cook and plus like let's say
Yeah,
a
if
lesser
you're trading Josh Jacobs for Dalvin Cook, you can get something else with Dalvin Cook.
right, and
Yeah,
get something else thrown in on it.
yeah. But I'm saying just straight up one for one swap. He would need to be like another top 5 running back. But yeah, if you can get like someone like traded from Dalvin Cook and you get another wide receiver or maybe like a low end running back, I would do that. Yeah,
Okay, that's kind of where I stand with it. That's kind of what I'd be looking at. Like, if you can trade Josh Jacobs for a haul, I think I would. I don't
yeah,
think what he's doing is completely sustainable. I'm not saying you should run out and do whatever you can to trade him, but I just don't think that he's going to be this good all year, which is not saying a whole lot because obviously there's some regression coming for him. Because I mean, the last 3 weeks in a row, he's just been nuclear. But yet, I mean, you go back to the 3 weeks prior to that, and we forget that he scored 8.3, 9.1, and 14.7. You
yeah.
know,
He's been scoring touchdowns. So
yeah. And so, I mean, he's also being utilized, pretty heavily in the passing game as well. He's seen at least 4 targets. He's had at least 3 receptions in all 3 of these games as well. So, but I do think Josh Jacobs is definitely somebody you could look to sell, and I think you would get a lot for him. So.
yep.
Truth, the guy who has Kenneth Walker also has Dameon Pierce. So, would you rather have Dameon Pierce over Kenneth Walker?
The rest of season, I would rather have Keenan Walker.
To be interesting to look back on, because I think I'd rather have Dameon Pierce. But it'll be interesting to see if I'm right at the end of the year on that. Kind of truth teller. Hey, your name's Truth Teller. Remember this down. Write it down for me. Let's check back on the end of the year. I'm gonna say I would probably rather have Dameon Pierce, but
I'll say Kenneth Walker. It's close,
yeah.
but both of these guys have someone else in that backfield stealing passing game work. With DJ Dallas and Rex Burkhead. But Pierce has been more involved in passing game than Kenneth Walker has. That's for sure. We'll
Oh,
see.
100%, 100%.
We'll
And
see.
I'm not. I mean, Rex Burkhead, I'm not worried about. I think he got a little bit of action last week, but that was because of more of a game script situation than anything. Old DP. Because last week, like I said, he did only play 52% of the snaps. But like I said, I think that had more to do with the fact of game script, and the game kind of got away from them. He still had 20 carries. He still saw 4 targets, had 4 receptions. 4th week in a row, he's at over 100 total yards. He just didn't score a touchdown last week, but he still scored 15.7. So, but his pass catching usage completely dwarfs anything that Kenneth Walker sees.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. Ravi, I'm 5-2 without Pierce. My team is Kyler, J. Rob, Dylan. Oh man, Cleo Herbert.
You skipped the last one.
Oh,
Anthony?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Sorry, AO. Also, in another league, do I trade Waddle and J. Rob for Henry?
Yes. I know you don't like Derrick Henry, Kev, but he's been balling. He's been balling. And he's catching passes. He's catching passes, Kev.
That's the weird part of it.
I know, but I know it's hard to say it, Kev, but you have to do it. That's Derrick Henry easily. That's easily Derrick Henry for me.
Yeah, I think I make that trade. All right. RV, I'm 2-5 without Pierce. My team is Kyler, J. Rob, Dylan, Khalil Herbert, Waddle, D Hop, Gabe Davis, Brandon Cooks. Any trade suggestions? Thinking of trading Waddle for Ramondre.
Well, you definitely need running backs because J. Rob, Dylan, and Khalil Herbert is not it.
I mean, unless David Montgomery gets traded, then all of a sudden you've landed on something, and then you would need Aaron Jones to get hurt for.
I don't think he's going to get traded because he's a free agent at the end of the season, right?
Right, which should make a reason why that it would be easy for a team to make a trade. If they can get anything for him, you're probably looking at like a 6th-round pick. Like that's all he's got to come with. You're not getting anything crazy for him.
You never know with Chicago. They just traded Robert Quinn for a 4th-round pick, so.
Yeah, or a 7th-round pick. Who knows?
A null pro defensive player for a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, and they're eating a lot of the money
Yeah,
that
that's the worst part about it.
like that's yeah. I mean, you're already not getting anything for him. I get he's 32 years old, but still, you're paying most of the money, and and you shipped him off. Like I don't know, that seemed like a bridge too far for me.
Yeah,
Um, you definitely need a running back. Like but I also feel like if you traded Jalen Waddle to get Khalil Herbert, you're in a very similar situation, right? Like
yeah.
you now your
If
wide
I'm
receivers,
gonna,
DeAndre Hopkins, Gabe Davis, Brandon Cooks, which is not terrible,
yeah,
but again, I
but
feel
if I'm
like
gonna,
we always go and like people that when they're looking to trade, they always go to the top of the spectrum. Like they're always trying to go after the studs, right? Where I don't think you have to necessarily do that. I think you could take like Gabe Davis, for example, and maybe you could trade for a it might take a little bit more, but like a Miles Sanders, right? Like I know that's not like a huge upgrade for you because like essentially to you to get up to the very top tier of running back, it's going to take a lot for you to be able to make that off. And I don't even know if Ramondre Stevens for Jalen Waddle is realistic. That would actually get done. Like if somebody offered you that, I probably would accept. But again, you're kind of just creating a little bit of a hole here. Yes, you have a decent running back now, but you know now your wide receivers are pretty thin too because Brandon Cooks has been not good.
yeah. But if I'm gonna trade Jalen Waddle for a running back, I would look to buy low on somebody instead of just buying high on a guy like Ramondre. Um,
You know who might be a really good buy low, and that's Jonathan Taylor. He continues to not really be great, but all the other numbers are there for him. I mean,
I
he's
think
been
another
pretty
one
solid.
is I think another one is Leonard Fournette. After the last couple games he's had, he's a pretty good buy low.
But I still think the best buy low right now is DeAndre Swift.
Yes, yep, that is
Like if
a
you could trade Jalen Waddle for DeAndre Swift, I would trade that now. Like I would
yeah.
offer it, and if they accepted it, be thankful. Because if DeAndre Swift can stay healthy, I think he's a top 5 running back rest of the season.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Randy, Waller, Knox, Dolchich, or Otten this week. If Darren Waller, it's Darren Waller.
Yeah, for sure.
Rollins, 12-team PPR. Do I trade Fournette, Lazard, Pitts, Brian Robinson for Aaron Jones, McLaurin, and Higbee? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think Jones and Fournette is basically a wash. So you're looking at Lazard, Pitts, and Robinson for McLaurin and Higbee, and I would do that.
Yeah, I think I agree. Randy, is Mixon and Higgins too much for Justin Jefferson?
Yes. I mean, we're looking at top 10 running back and a top 15 wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. All right, we need to hurry up. We're almost an hour.
No, I just saw that.
All right, let's keep it moving here. We got to pick up the pace. Probably have to. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a question. Anime 1-6. One of my leagues need help. Gino, Mike, Melvin Gordon, Najee Pittman, Gabe Davis, Schultz, Kirk, Tucker, and Eagles D bench Jamal Williams, Keenan Allen, Alec Pierce, Curtis. What do I do?
I mean, the issue is running back. Um, I would not keep CEH on the bench over Melvin Gordon. I would start CEH over Melvin Gordon.
I have a CH on by.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, sorry. Then you have Keenan Allen on the bench.
Yeah, he's also on by.
But maybe you could look into package some of these wide receivers and get a running back.
What you do here is you start treating everything like it's I don't know if you don't play DFS, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but you treat everything like you strictly just play matchups. You don't give a shit about name, who they are. You literally
Yeah.
are just looking for the best matchups every single week. Look at some of the highest applied point totals. You can find that literally you just type in NFL applied point totals, whatever week you're in, and you can find those and kind of got to go from there. And you start, you don't necessarily, you're not playing, just again, the start your studs mentality. I think that you just kind of play matchups every single week. You get a little bit crazy and see what you can do. You're already 1-6. You're probably another loss or two away from just being pretty much toast. You're not dead yet. It really depends on the way your league is set up, because a lot of leagues, that maybe you have two different divisions, and then depending on what your division looks like, because there's some leagues out there where that you might still have a chance. You're not really that far behind. Maybe a couple wins away. But, if you're going to trade something, I just don't think you have like a lot of tradable assets to be able to make anything happen. Because you really need a running back, I would agree. But if I was going to trade anybody, it'd be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If I was going to try to trade somebody, especially with him just scoring another touchdown this past week, but he's looked terrible, and I think it's really only a matter of time that Isaiah Pacheco fully takes over that backfield. I know that we had the reports that he was starting, but it was pretty. He did out touch him and out snap him, but
it wasn't a good matchup.
Yeah, so that's kind of the way I would look at it. Hope that helps. Francisco, any possible trades? Quarterback, Christian Kirk, running back, Saquon Mixon, wide receiver, Cup Higgins, tight end, Patty Fry, 2 flex, Pierce, Sutton, bench, Gordon, Lockett, Schultz, Alec Pierce, Dak, Latavius Murray.
Well, that's Kirk Cousins, not Christian Kirk, because he's at QB. But...
Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. I was reading Kirk. Let's keep it moving. Yeah. Kirk Cousins.
I mean, you have Dak on the bench, so I think I would just look to drop one of them. You don't need Kirk Cousins and Dak.
Or include him in a trade.
Yeah.
It'd be some sort of a package that I think you could include one of them.
But I don't think you need to. I mean, you have Saquon and Mixon as running backs, and your wide receiver are Cup and Higgins, and you got Patty Fry, who's probably a top 10 tight end for this season, and your flex or Pierce, I assume it's Damian Pierce, not Alec Pierce, and then Cortland.
It has to be, because he also has Alec Pierce on the bench.
Okay, so that's Damian Pierce and Cortland Sutton. So that's a very good team. I don't think you need to make any trades. I don't think it's necessary. I don't know what your record is, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid team. Gator fan, my running backs are solid with Henry, Chubb, Pierce, Connor, and Dylan, but my wide receivers are so-so. Would you just enjoy having my group of running backs and stay with the wide receivers, or try to package a running back and wide receiver for a wide receiver upgrade?
I think you could trade one of them.
I mean, you could, but I don't really know. Like, I don't know what your wide receivers are, so it's really hard to say.
I mean, you're not going to get anything for A.J. Dillon and James Conner. You're not going to get anything for them.
No.
And then you could try and sell high on either Chubb or Henry. Try and sell one of them for like a top 6 wide receiver, maybe. Yeah. Like a guy like a Stephon Diggs, or a guy, like Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, someone like that.
Yeah. Ramondre, Montgomery, or Williams?
Ramondre.
Agreed. Emmy again, Walker and Stevenson for Diggs and Godwin. Okay, so it's the same team where his running backs are absolutely loaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he also asked, or Walker for Diggs straight up. I would rather do the Walker for Diggs straight up.
Oh yeah. Keep Ramondre, and then, I don't think you don't need Diggs and Godwin.
Yeah. Truth teller, Khalil Herbert worth pickup. Absolutely, he's worth pickup. He shouldn't be on anybody's waiver at all. Like he's provided standalone value regardless of whether David Montgomery gets traded or not. So he definitely shouldn't be available. Truth. CHB, how do you feel about Sam Ehlinger? I think we've kind of hit on this already. I think he could be an interesting option, especially if they utilize him correctly. If they get him on design runs and he uses his legs, that he certainly could be, a pretty useful fantasy option, because that's kind of what we look for. Guys that had that ability. That's why, Daniel Jones is even relevant in fantasy football right now, is because of his ability to run the football. He has over 50. He's averaging 50 rushing yards a game on the season right now. Daniel Jones is. And so, yeah. He's not somebody I'm going to run out and think that you have to add. But yes, which quarterback should I start? Geno or Kenny Pickett, or maybe Sam Ehlinger? 14-team league.
Geno.
I still go Geno.
Yeah, Geno.
Crab Gravy, Irv over Waller if Waller suits up. I would go Darren
No.
Waller.
Yeah, Darren Waller.
Bronco plays, trade Singletary for Keenan Allen. Yes.
Yeah. Keenan Allen's a really good buy low right now,
Yeah. Extremely good buy low.
especially with Mike Williams being out.
He has Henry, Taylor, Hunt for running backs, Chase Higgins, Olave, Lazard. Really solid group. But yes,
Yep.
I'm still going to make that trade.
Also, he also has Dante Foreman. So.
Yeah. Should I change Dimes for Tua, Dak, Cousins, Brady? Wait, did we already answer this? I thought we did, Jose.
Yeah.
If we didn't,
you said Tua.
I said Tua. Yeah, you said Brady. And then running backs, Higbee for Pittman, Schultz. I said...
Yeah, we said that. We said Schultz.
Man, Kyle Pitts is one of those options too. Kyle Pitts is available?
Oh, no, we said keep Higbee. Yeah, just keep Higbee. Yeah.
We would keep Higbee, but I think if you wanted to go more long term, I think Dalton Schultz is a better tight end. Long term, I think is what we said. Should I drop Bateman for Julio?
No.
I don't. Julio's dead in my book. Anyways, AO pick one full PPR: Jerry Jeudy, Foreman, and Wandale.
Foreman against Atlanta. Yeah. I know he's splitting with Chuba Hubbard, but he's looked the best running back. Chuba had a touchdown last week, but Foreman was better.
I'm gonna go Jerry Jeudy. It's close. It's really close, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. D Lenny, I'm 5-2, 12 team, half point PPR. Do I trade ETN for AJ Brown? My team's in the next comment. Hurt, Swift, ETN, Pierce, Stevenson, Chuba, Lamb, Sutton, Hollywood, Wandale, Claypool, James. So,
yes.
Trade.
Oh, you still have Swift, Pierce, and Stevenson. So yes, I would. Because Hollywood's on IR, right? So
right,
now
he definitely needs wide receiver.
So you're only looking at Lamb and Sutton right now. So if you're adding AJ Brown, and he has his quarterback is Ertz too. His quarterback is Jalen Hurts.
A little stack.
Yeah, so you're looking at a stack here with AJ Brown. I know it's not DFS, but I would still do it.
Yeah, I think I would too. T. Hayes, Hawkinson or Ingram? I'm gonna go with Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson.
Caden over here rocking with us on Twitch. Hope you're. Should I trade Swift for CeeDee Lamb? No, I would keep Swift.
No. Yep, keep Swift.
I have ETN in all leagues. AJ Brown was last bye week. Well, one, excellent job for drafting and getting Travis Etienne because the wait has paid off because he is set to explode as long as he can stay healthy.
Yep.
Hunter, Flex Pollard, Henderson, or Connor. I'm gonna go Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, if Zeke's out, Tony Pollard is a top 12 running back this week.
I would say top 8.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a case we made there. Yes, if Zeke misses once again, yes, he is an elite spot.
And he has a pretty good matchup this week versus the Bears.
Yeah, Bears have really struggled to stop the run. I forgot to mention 2 wide receivers, running back, flex spots.
Oh, for the trade? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Still getting AJ Brown.
Well, is he asked? Okay, I see what he's saying now. Okay, yeah. Derrick Henry last 3 games for Houston, 673 runs, 7 touchdowns. Yes, he is absolutely torched the Texans. And it almost always feels like it happens like in the second half. It's like right like at the very end of the game, he breaks off a 90-yard touchdown right down your throat. I can't remember if it was last year or it was the year before. He was doing like he was chalk, like super chalk that week, like DFS. Again, I'm getting off the track here, but and then I think it was like right in the game went to overtime, but like it was like the fourth quarter or late in the fourth quarter, he had done absolutely nothing, and then all of a sudden he exploded like over the last it was like the last couple of minutes and then into overtime and just went absolutely nuclear. and just killed people. And people were furious. All the people that faded him. So, anyways, CB, hey guys, need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, Swift, Dameon Pierce, Monty Walker. So for me, at the 2 running backs, it is Swift and it is Kenneth Walker, and then 2 wide receivers, Waddle if he plays, Davis, Olave, Amon-Ra, Pickens. I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra and Waddle.
Just go Amon-Ra and Waddle. Yeah.
And then at flex, I'm gonna go Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce.
Is Sun God playing this week? I believe that he will play this week. He was cleared of concussion. He didn't have a concussion.
Yeah, he's not actually injured. He was ruled out with a concussion, but he was just a preventive measure.
Yeah. So he should be good to go. Debo has a hamstring issue, and that has been the biggest red flag so far this year.
As long as he plays.
Mo Diesel, am I winning this year? Half point PPR, 12-man, Derek Carr, Chubb, Walker, Evans, AJ Brown, Goddard, ETN, Cooks, Rashad White, Bateman, Sutton, Allen Robinson. Oh, he said Rashad White twice.
If that team stays healthy, you have a good chance.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid roster, I think. Josh Jacobs or Edmonds at RB2, Saquon or RB1?
Josh Jacobs.
Are you messing with this anime? Are you messing with this right now with that question?
Chase Edmonds? No.
Yeah, it is 1,000% Josh Jacobs, unless he has some inside news that were.
I think Chase Edmonds can be dropped in most leagues.
Yeah, a lot of places he has been dropped.
Yeah.
D. Lenny, just adding your dropping facts, I guess. Matt Ryan says has second most pass attempts and the 4th most passing yards, but most turnovers, 9 interceptions, 11 fumbles, and taking 24 sacks because he is immobile. It hasn't helped. Juwan Johnson.
He's going for that 30-30, like Jameis.
Yeah. Juwan Johnson versus 27th worst defense in the Raiders. If same pass catchers sit in week 8, still in the flames with 6'5" Juwan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Russell Wilson is high knees at $30K. He's playing. Yeah, that dude is wild to me. Where was I at? Okay. Sorry. Anime, 1 and 6 just offered Christian Kirk and MG3 for Mixon and Brandon Cooks. Thoughts? Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know. He's not going to accept that.
At least I would assume not. I mean, there are some weird leagues that maybe people would, but no, that's not going to get it done. You're not going to get even just the Joe Mixon part of it. You're not going to get.
Yeah, you're
going to have to offer more for something like that. Connor, should I trade Mixon, Pickens, Juju for Swift, Jamal Williams, and Lockett or Michael Thomas?
I don't want to trade for Swift and Jamal Williams.
Yeah, it's pretty much redundant. It's kind of a little bit of a redundant asset.
If you can get Swift, Lockett, and Michael Thomas, then yes. Like just remove Jamal Williams and just get Swift, Lockett, and Thomas. If you can do that, yes. But if you have to get Swift and Jamal Williams, I'm not doing it.
I don't think I make that trade. One, I don't want to get rid of Juju. Like Juju, really, I think it's very likely he's a top 15 wide receiver rest of the season.
I think he's a sell high.
That's because you hate Juju Smith-Schuster, but he's been very good.
I still think I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think he's gonna play like he has every week. Or get the volume.
It has been 2 very good weeks. So he's finished inside the top 8 each of the last 2 weeks. But he's seen at least 8 targets. He's already seen 8 targets. I guess that's the cap for him because 8 targets. But he's seen 8 targets in every game but 2 this year. So he's seeing decent amount of opportunities in this offense. And really, this was the toughest part of their schedule. Now, I mean, really, the second half of their season. I mean, there's not that there's no tough matchups because they do have some tough matchups mixed in. But this second half of the season, I mean, they opened the second half with the Titans and Jags. So there's a lot of really good stuff coming here for this passing offense. And so I really don't want to get rid of Juju Smith-Schuster. And I think what he's doing is sustainable. So, and I think it's pretty close between Joe Mixon and Swift. And then
Yeah.
Pickens, Jamal Williams, whatever. It's more of a depth piece, obviously, because you're getting Swift and then Lockett or Michael Thomas. Like, I'd rather have Juju over both of them.
Yeah.
So, anyways, C. Crip, Amon-Ra, Olave, or Foreman, full PPR flex.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I agree. Just barely. My
We
win
already
this
answered-
year.
We already
You
answered this, right? Yeah, we already answered this.
Oh, yeah, you're right. MJ, trade Gus Edwards and Juju for Singletary and DJ Moore. No.
No. Yep. Yeah, that's
Absolutely. Look, D. Linney is in here trying to take your job right now as a moderator. He did it a couple weeks ago too, I believe, and was real. And I think I told him to reach out to us, and I'll get him. I believe it's the same person. I'm almost positive that I told him, hey, we'll make it. We could use more than one, because whenever good old Walito, has stuff going on in his life, he can't be in apparently every TFA show for the entire time.
Unfortunately.
So, anyways. Appreciate it, D. Linney. Jacob, start two, Gus Edwards, Henderson, Godwin, Terry, half PPR.
He also
I'm
has
on the
DJ
last
Moore.
two.
He also has DJ Moore in there.
Oh, and also DJ Moore, sorry. It's still the last two. Or it's these two. It's Godwin and Terry McLaurin.
It's Godwin and Gus Edwards. He got the volume last week. For first game coming off injury, he got a lot of volume.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that, though. Every week.
I mean, Tampa Bay got run over by Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard last week.
Who are your top 5 rest of season running backs?
Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, Christian McCaffrey, and Jonathan Taylor.
So I'm going to go with Saquon.
Yeah. Eckler
for sure. DeAndre Swift.
Okay. JT?
No.
No? McCaffrey?
And
what about Mixon or Dalvin Cook?
Man. That's tough.
I really like Dalvin Cook rest of season because he has a fairly easy matchup. Pretty easy matchup now for the rest of the season. He gets the Cardinals this week, then the Commanders. Then he has a tough one against the Bills, but then he has the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Jets, the Lions, the Colts, the Giants. He has good matchups.
I'm gonna hate myself, but I'm gonna put Derrick Henry in there.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Gabriel in a superflex is Geno and Dameon Pierce too much for Hurts?
No, in superflex, no, I would do that.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Yeah, I would for sure.
Oh my! I apologize. Ashton here. 12 team, half points. Rondale Woods, Irv Smith, Zay Jones.
Rondale Moore. Yeah, I would go Rondale Moore.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Robert Woods. They are missing a lot of people. They just put There's not a lot of options here in this passing game. Now, obviously, we'll have to see what happens with Ryan Tannehill if he's able to
Yeah,
play. It was going to be Malik Willis
I don't
because
know
it
how
could
we can.
just.
Yeah, I don't know how we can play any of these pass catchers. I'm not doing that.
I think we have to pay one. Or you mean for the Titans?
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were just saying like you can't play any of these guys. I'm like, well, we got to
No,
pick
no,
one
I'm
of
not.
them.
I'm
I
not
mean,
playing any. I'm not playing anyone. I'm not playing anyone in Tennessee. There's no way. I'm not touching them unless it's Traylon Burks, but he's still injured. So
yeah, he's still on IR. That or Zay Jones. Zay Jones seeing a lot of targets. He just hasn't been able to capitalize on it yet. But
what
it's
about
not.
Rondale
But
Moore? You don't like Rondale Moore?
I don't mind him. It's just I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would probably rank him Woods, Zay Jones, Rondale, and Irv Smith for me.
Yeah, I mean they're all close options.
Yeah, Carlos. I'm looking to trade Camaro. Who should I think I should go for?
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I like that.
DeAndre Swift.
Yep, for sure.
You know, anybody in that range really.
I think even Jonathan Taylor could be a consideration.
Yeah, I think you probably have to add on to Kamara for that.
Logan Bush. Should I trade Camaro for Michael Thomas? Pats.
Let's see.
Or trade Camara for Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, and Game Davis. I would definitely do that last one.
Oh yeah, sure.
Somebody somewhere. Oh, there it is. Tony La Russa. That fucking guy. He's the stone cold worst. Hate Tony La Russa. I mean, I don't wish anything bad to happen to him. He's now gone. But just hopefully the White Sox make the right decision on their hire. Anyway, is Camaro sell high? Should I trade him for ETN and a wide receiver too? Yeah, if you could do that, I have no problem.
I mean, I don't know if he's a sell high. It's not like
He's not a sell high,
yeah.
but I mean, if you could look to trade him, I think I wouldn't mind it.
I don't know if I would trade him for ETN. Would you? Would you trade Kamara for ETN? I would not.
Not straight up, no. But if he
Yeah.
can get ETN plus a wide receiver too, I would do that.
Yeah.
Jamal Charles, great Kansas City Chief running back. Trade K9 and Gabe Davis for Devontae Adams.
Great fantasy running back.
Excellent.
K9. Who's K9?
That I was hoping maybe you knew. I don't know who that is.
K9. No idea. K9. I don't know. Anyone, Jamal, if you're still in here, can you tell us who K9 is? I have no idea. Or if anyone else knows.
Oh, I think it's Kenneth Walker.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. So Kenneth Walker and Gabe Davis for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it's Kenneth Walker. That's his nickname, apparently. So we learn something every day. See? I just learned that.
Well, I would not do that, no.
I would not either. No. Emilio, Cooks, Monty, Henderson, Connor, Judy at flex. I'm going to go James Conner. Pretty solid matchup against the Vikings.
Yeah, James Conner.
Fantasy dog. That's a good looking dog right there. I'm super late. We'll go back later. These guys are good. You're good too. 10 teamers on Pitts. What?
Not sure.
All these calls are good.
I think he's just commenting on what we're saying.
Oh. Ashton, apologize, missed it. I hate the way YouTube does it because I think it's anything under if it's under $4.99, I think it doesn't show up. It doesn't alert us, and I hate that because I keep trying to scroll down to make sure we're not missing any because we always try to put them as a priority. Obviously, we're going to answer all of them, but if you drop one in, we're going to answer it first. And so if I miss it, I apologize. We're not trying to, we're not ignoring your comment or especially on super chat. So Ashton, appreciate the super chat that you submitted. I do not see any other in here.
I don't either.
So crab gravy, Montgomery or DPJ for a flex with Njoku out.
That's Montgomery. Don't do it, Gav. Don't do it. It's David Montgomery against the Cowboys. It's David Montgomery. I know Khalil Herbert's been getting involved. I know they've been splitting, but David Montgomery's still the number one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go David Montgomery. I really wanted to say Don Peoples-Jones. Kirk or Gabe Davis in the flex?
Gabe Davis.
Yeah. Sick nasty. Try and trade Hill or CMC. Find conquer. I lost both Javonte and Hall trying to stay in the race. If so, who do y'all target with either of them? Man, that's brutal.
I mean, I would need
Javonte and Brees Hall.
I would need to see the rest of your roster to know if I'm going to trade CMC or Tyreek Hill. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Sick. If you're still in here, drop.
Hop on the Discord.
Hop in the Discord. Do we have a link? Have we put a link in there for that yet?
Yeah, I can do that.
So that is definitely one the easiest way. Mainly because if I want to see somebody else's roster, because it's hard to say, hey, you should trade for these players without being able to see anybody's roster. And so it just makes it a lot easier. We're a lot more accessible. You can tag us and we'll answer. So, anyways, so yeah, or if you could just drop your rest of your roster in the chat, we could come back to it. Slammy over on Twitch. Is tomorrow the game the Bucks offense gets it together because I have 3 Bucks players playing?
I think so. Kev doesn't.
It's not that I don't think that they can, right? It's just at the same time, I will say this too. Like, Tom Brady does not look like Tom Brady at any point this year. He does not look like Tom Brady. Like, he's clearly has so much stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. All of his personal life stuff that's got to be tearing him down. And he just doesn't like this. And I think it's affecting this entire offense. And I mean, the Ravens have not been great against opposing quarterbacks. They are what? They have allowed the 9th most fantasy points to running backs on the season. So it's not terrible matchup for them. But like, it wouldn't surprise me either if this is not the week that they're able to turn it around.
We'll see.
Secret, do y'all like Mostert over Lenny this week? Full PPR. I'm starting JT and Olave at flex right now. Like, I'm starting Lenny, but it's actually not that far off for Raheem Mostert going against Detroit.
I would sit Olave and play all 3 running backs.
I can't sit Olave. I absolutely love him this week, but I get it.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's not like it's a bad idea. It's just I would slightly prefer the other way.
Yeah, I think I would rather play running backs.
Rob Navarro, Geno Smith, or Daniel Jones. I'm gonna go Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Crab gravy. If Montgomery over DPJ, Monty over Herbert. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Truth, I'm talking to the guy who has the Cup and Kenneth for the trade, but sounds like he might not want to trade both those guys for Debo and St. Brown. Would you do St. Brown and Debo just for Cup?
I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, I would want something else. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Kenneth Walker. Like, obviously, if you could make that happen, it's awesome. But if he has something else, maybe you try to get a little bit more, something a little bit
Yeah, maybe
extra.
like a wide receiver 2 or a running back 2.
Yeah.
Like maybe would you do it for Cup and Tony Pollard?
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, I think that's fair value.
Darius, who should I trade Aaron Jones for? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's um problem with Aaron Jones is
Do you need another running back? Do you need a wide receiver?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, if you have let us know what the rest of your team looks like, Darius, and we can kind of go from there. Somebody said if Antonio Gibson suddenly gets traded, where are you on B Rob?
It's
I think he's
probably
a
probably
low end RB2.
yeah, it was probably RB2. That's what I was gonna say. Maybe around like RB 20 ish.
D. Lenny, Rams should grab Gibson and plug him in as workhorse and Hindi as third down. I don't think that's how it works. Plus, I mean, I think Antonio Gibson's a better pass catcher anyway than Daryl Henderson is. And like I
Yeah,
said,
that
I just don't think the Rams really care for Daryl Henderson. They have proven time and time again that they have tried whatever they could to replace Daryl Henderson with somebody different. So,
but I don't think the Rams would do that move.
I picked up Ed Hardman. I was like, what? Ed Hardman? McCole Hardman in a lot of leagues, and he's going to scheme him up. Is Hardman a wide receiver 3 or 2? Not wide receiver 3. Like, I think you're going to see more of what we just saw this past week, where they've utilized him as like on jet sweeps, and they've kind of made him, a poor man's Debo Samuel with using him behind the line of scrimmage and just doing creative things, getting the ball in his hands. But I don't think he's going to be a consistent option.
Yeah, they're trying to do all the stuff they would do with Tyreek, but
Yeah, actually, I think I was looking at. I think he actually played the most snaps of any Chiefs wide receiver last week, though. So I thought that was interesting.
really,
I mean, they all played like I think it was 60% for Hardman, and then I think Juju played like 55%. And Hardman or MBS was kind of similar too. But they also blew the doors off the 49ers last week.
yeah.
So CB need 2 wide receivers in a flex: Lamb, Higgins, Amon-Ra, Lockett, Stevenson, Damian Pierce, Chubb. Oh my goodness, CB.
We're locking in Nick Chubb for the flex.
I'm not.
You're not
No, I would lock in Ramondre Stevenson.
over Nick Chubb
I have Nick Chubb at 10. I have Ramondre Stevenson at 5.
against Cincinnati.
And then the 2 wide receivers for me would be
First
Amon-Ra,
two.
St. Brown, and CeeDee Lamb.
I'll play CD Lamb and T Higgins, and then I would play Nick Chubb in the flex. I can't. There is no way I'm sitting Nick Chubb. I mean, we're talking about a guy that could run for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's definitely in the range of outcomes for him.
Yeah.
Uzi, no Derrick Henry. Listen, I had Derrick Henry, which is crazy to think because I am not the Derrick Henry guy here. But here we are.
Here we
Oh,
are.
they forgot. Yes, I had him. Walito didn't. I think he may have just forgot him.
Yeah.
D. Linney just traded DK Pitts for DJ Moore, Gerald Everett, and redraft. DK and Mike Will out for 3 to 5 weeks. Moore faces Atlanta twice the next 3 weeks. Good move and a must-win 2 to 5 squad.
Sure. If you need to win now, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think you had to do what you had to do. I mean, you're 2 and 5. There is no if you lose, you can't wait for these guys to come back. So, right, and who knows? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, DK, it's hard to say with how long he's going to be out, especially with Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll is like the stone cold worst trying to figure out any information from him. So,
Yeah, especially for injuries.
okay.
Where are we at now?
Let's see.
I think it's
I think
anime.
this
Yeah.
is the next one.
Yep.
Yeah. Anime. Should I start Schultz or Irv Smith?
Dalton Schultz. With Dak Prescott, he's going to see targets. I think we can expect. I think we can expect the same performances that we saw from him last year. I think we could see similar numbers. I think he's a guy that can go out there every week and go 6 for 60, pretty much every week. And then some of these weeks he's going to have a touchdown too. But 5 for 60 or 6 for 60, I think is something Dalton Schultz can get every week.
Yeah. I would go Schultz here on this one. Logan, Kamara, Darnell Mooney, James Robinson for Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, or Gabe Davis. Did we already answer this? Oh, we did. Maybe we didn't. I know Logan was in here earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Aaron Jones side.
Yeah, I agree. D. Linney, should we consider how many teams are tanking or appearing to be as we consider trades? Example, Dalvin Cook over Swift JT. Will teams limit workload late in season with franchise assets? I don't think they will. So many of these guys have like built-in incentives and all this other stuff, and a lot of these teams are trying, obviously try to get that for these guys, and we just typically don't see. I mean, the last week or two of the season, if a player pops up with a minor injury, you could definitely see them get benched in situations where they wouldn't, just because they don't have to play them. But I wouldn't go into this worrying about that, right? Like it's not something that I would be like actively trying to avoid with this situation, right? Because I mean, teams get I mean, this stuff happens every year. I would not expect that you're all of a sudden going to see them just sit players. Maybe they pull the reins back a little bit, or somebody were to get hurt, especially someone that's injury prone, like a Dalvin Cook. But it's not something that, again, that I would just be like that. That's my sole thing that I'm worrying about. Because also a lot of these coaches are worried about their jobs too. And so that plays a big part of it. I mean, unless you're, Andy Reid or Bill Belichick, somebody that's, that you're not getting fired, Sean McVay, and, guys like that, they don't have to worry about it. But, a lot of these other coaches definitely have to worry about it. So I think that also plays into it as well. Let me see. Homer Simpson. Should I trade Saquon and Olave for Jefferson and Mike Williams? Got Zeke Patterson and Kamara Godwin. Christian Kirk, Deontay, half PPR can start 2 flex. Thanks.
I would not. I don't want to trade for Mike Williams right now.
No, especially if as long as he can be out.
Yeah, so no.
And Saquon's been one of the best running backs in the league. Shout out to me for, being super high on Saquon Barkley all offseason. But I mean, let's be honest.
Got to give it to you.
Want it. 0-2. How does Najee and Godwin for T. Higgins or Najee for DK and Montgomery? I have Kenneth Walker, Gus Edwards, Stevenson for running backs. Olave, Keenan Allen, and Myers.
I would do the second one. Because I think Najee and Godwin for T. Higgins is too much. But then if you can trade Najee for DK Metcalf and David Montgomery, I think I would rather do that. Because it seems like DK's injury is not long term, so don't have to worry for that. And Montgomery he's going to be a low end RB2 pretty much.
Yeah, if I can trade Najee for DK Metcalf and Montgomery, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Because Najee and Montgomery are pretty much the same, right? So. Oh my God.
TN, the GOAT, the man.
Unbelievable.
Appreciate you with the $200 super chat, my man. You are the man. We say it every single time. You are the king. We appreciate you, bro. There's nothing I could actually say. We say it every time, and I'm always at a loss for words every single time. We are truly appreciative. So let's try to help the man here, TN. Half PPR, we got George Kittle or Dallas Goedert.
George Kittle.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just tough with George Kittle. He's so inconsistent. You know, with how he hit.
Yeah, but his ceiling is so high
Oh,
that
of course. I mean, he could score you 30 fantasy points every single week. I will
that's
say he's gotten a little bit better over the last couple of weeks. Week 6, he finishes tight end 5, and then
yeah.
he's finished last week as
Yeah,
tight end
but
1.
at this stage of the season, where you pretty much everyone is competing for a playoff spot, you want that ceiling.
Let's see, how have the Rams done against opposing tight ends so far this year? They have allowed the fewest fantasy points to tight ends. They've only allowed 2 fantasy points per game to tight end, actually.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 catches for 120 yards is what they've allowed. Where the Steelers, where are they? They're actually not great either. They're what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th fewest. Now, some of this is also game or the type of teams they're playing as well when it comes to this. So it's a little bit misleading, especially for tight ends.
Yeah, because who are the tight ends that the Rams have faced?
Well, let's see. They have faced the Bills, Dawson Knox, no. Atlanta Falcons, we obviously know Kyle Pitts isn't utilized for anything. And then Arizona Cardinals, Zach Ertz.
Okay.
They've already obviously faced the 49ers, the Cowboys without Dalton Schultz, and then the Panthers, who have no tight end.
Did George Kittle play in that game? In the other Rams 49ers game?
Yeah, I believe so. I can tell you. Hold on. Yeah, he played. He had 2 catches for 24 yards.
Okay. Oh, let's go Dallas Goddard.
I think they're very, very close, the two of them. I
Yeah.
think depending on the way the rest of your roster looks like, if you're searching for straight ceiling, I think you go George Kittle.
Yeah, of course.
But I think Dallas Goddard has a safer floor in this matchup against Pittsburgh, who Pittsburgh has been terrible this year.
Yeah, if they've been that good against tight end, I would just rather go with Dallas Goddard. Because Dallas Goddard got a pretty high ceiling himself. I mean, he can go out there, catch eight balls for 120 yards and a touchdown.
Because if you look at Tennessee or at Pittsburgh, who they've faced this year, it's a little bit different. I mean, they really haven't faced a whole lot of teams with good tight ends. They faced the Bengals with Hayden Hurst, whatever. And then they faced the Patriots with Hunter Henry. Cleveland, they did face Njoku. The Jets, Conklin. And then you have the Bills, again, no tight end. The Bucks, Kate Otten, and then the Dolphins with Gesicki, who they don't utilize that way. So I think theirs a little bit more misleading than what we've seen with the Rams, anyway.
Yeah, probably.
So I think I would go Goddard. All that just to say that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to talk through it. TN, then we got the flex, Deontay, Devonta Smith, or James Conner.
James Conner.
Yeah, I think I would too. Man, that's tough.
It's close with Devontae Smith, right?
Yeah, I think both of those are the two guys that are beside between me. Yeah, I'm gonna go James Conner. He was somebody that I highlighted in our the video that I put out yesterday that you haven't watched, Walito. James Conner, it's a decent matchup. Minnesota hasn't been that great against opposing running backs. They're 21st in rush DVOA. They've allowed the 14th most rushing yards per game, 10th most rushing touchdowns, and the 16th most fantasy points to running backs. So it's not a bad matchup. So I think I would go James Conner. Here with that one, and it's a half-point PPR.
Yeah.
Because with Deontay Johnson, it's not even him. It's just the quarterback situation has been so bad. The offense, the scheme that they're trying to run, Matt Canada's an idiot. Like, it's just, I don't know. And then Devontae. Yeah. So, yeah, we're locking it in. Sorry, TN. Just want to talk through this one a little bit. But, yes, we're going to go with Dallas Goedert and James Conner. Final answer, lock it in. Okay. But, again, TN, we appreciate you, my guy, as always.
Yes.
Can't thank you enough. So, where were we at?
Somebody somewhere. Joe Burrow, top 5 rest of season.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Top 5 rest season, I would say no. I think he's close to it, but I would say no.
I think top 8 is more reasonable.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously Mahomes, Josh Allen are ahead of him.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts would
Lamar
be ahead
Jackson.
of him. I think there's a case to be made between Lamar Jackson, but yeah, he's in that mix. I also think Kyler Murray would be in that conversation. Justin Herbert, if they could actually figure something out. They
I
spent
don't know.
so
I don't
much
know.
money,
I don't know what's happening with
so
Herbert.
much money on this offense or on their defense, and the defense has been really mid. And the offense, they were
Yeah,
like,
but
oh, let's just bring back the same guys we had.
they've been. I don't know how many injuries they have on that defense. Joey Bosa has been injured. J.C. Jackson looks like he's
Done for the year.
He's done for the year. Yeah,
And his career could be over with that injury that he suffered.
Yeah, and Joey Bosa cannot stay on the field.
This is the Chargers every year, though, and it's like every year it's the same. Yeah. It's the same situation, and I think Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback, but they should be surrounding him with more reps. And I know Mike Williams is a good wide receiver, and Keenan Allen, but Keenan Allen's getting older. He has been out of this lineup the entire year, so I think they should have done more to surround him with more weapons, in my mind. But anyways, so I think for me, I think he'd be really close. He'd be somewhere in that range. I think anywhere from probably like 6 to 8 for me, Joey Burrow. Rest of season, I think, is where I would have him. Super close. Justin just traded Swift, Michael Thomas, and Pierce for Diggs. 8-man league, full PPR. Wait, you traded DeAndre Swift
Thomas,
and Pierce for Diggs? You gave up way too much, my man.
Yeah, that is not a good trade.
Yeah. My running backs are now Kenneth Walker, Zeke, and Connor. My wide receivers are now Kupp and Diggs. I mean, obviously the wide receivers are fantastic.
Yeah, I would have.
You still give up way too much. And I know it's an 8-man league, but that means all these teams are going to be really loaded, and you are not loaded at running back.
Because you got rid of Swift.
Yeah, I actually think you didn't need to make any moves. You would have been great the way you were.
If you have Kupp, you don't need Diggs.
Right. Been meaning to make a big trade for one player so I can keep being a waiver god. Well, good for you. The real Dirty Dan. Every time I see that name, I think of Dan Sorensen every single time. That's like his nickname. Anyways,
he's on the Saints now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm happy he's gone. 5-2. Currently, the team is Brady, ETN, Stevenson, Jefferson, Hill, Andrews, St. Brown. Great job. I can see why you're 5-2. Benches Olave, Monty, Hunt, Henderson, Wandale, and Dylan. Thinking I want to trade Stevenson, Olave for a running back.
Yeah, I mean, if you can trade Stevenson and Olave for a guy like for Jonathan Taylor, that would be something I would do.
I don't think they need it. I think I would keep this is one of those situations where I wouldn't mess with a good thing, right? Like ETN and Stevenson very well could be top 10 running backs for the rest of the season, right? And then.
Yeah, but then even if you get rid of Olave, you still have Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But then you upgrade from Stevenson to JT.
But isn't it an upgrade? I mean, we think it should be an upgrade. But again, you would have watched the video yesterday. You would know that Jonathan Taylor, it's one thing if it were like 3 or 4 weeks into the season. I get it, short sample size, all that stuff, right? But it's not. We are now into week 8 of the season, and he still has been very, mm, he's scoring 13.1 fantasy points per game. He has not been efficient. 42nd in yards created per touch. He's 36th in yards per route run. Now, don't get me wrong, the opportunities are there. He's averaging 18.2 carries per game and 4.8 targets per game. He should be so much better than he is right now. He's averaging 13.1 fantasy points per game, but he should be his expected fantasy points is 16.9, which means he should be seeing some positive regression candidate here. So I don't hate it, but like I just feel like that could be a little bit too much because if Stevenson continues down this path and he ends up being like a top 6, 7, 8 running back for the rest of the season, plus Olave, who could be a borderline top 12, top 15 wide receiver, I think you gave up too much just to get Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, like again, this is one of the situations where I like with a 5-2 team like this, I don't want to disrupt like the main pieces that I have. And I get it, you're really solid at wide receiver, but maybe take some of these other guys that you have here on the bench and try to package to maybe make a little bit different. But right now, I think you're good. You have decent depth at running back. It's not great, but any of these guys, David Montgomery, Kareem Hunt, even AJ Dillon. If anything, if Monty were to be traded, if he was a great spot, his value skyrockets. Kareem Hunt, if he gets traded like the Rams, his value skyrockets. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones goes down, his value skyrockets. Like, I think you're actually at a pretty good spot. Like, I don't know if I would really be going out to like make any moves.
I agree.
So, anyways, spend an hour talking about that. Rico, thoughts on Debo rest of season?
High end wide receiver 2.
He should be. The only thing that would worry me is there going to be enough volume? If he does lose touches on the ground, is he going to lose opportunity? But he's still probably going to be a guy who sees 7 to 8 targets, 7 to 9 targets, maybe 7 to 10 targets per game. So I think there's enough volume there to go around, enough opportunity for him there to go around. I think that he is probably somewhere in the range of, I think probably high to mid wide receiver 2 rest of season. And I think that's probably on the low end for what he could be. Hey guys, sorry, I'm working and trying to listen at the same time. Okay. Yep. Let me sickness. My running back or my roster is quarterbacks Justin Herbert and Geno. First of all, sick. If this is not a super flex league, drop Geno Smith. Obviously, well, never mind. He needs him this week, I assume. Yeah, because Justin Herbert's on bye, so that makes sense.
Oh, that's a question he was asking if he should trade Tyreek or CMC.
Let me go find it real quick. I think that's the question. Yeah,
he was asking if he should trade Tyreek or CMC. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, try and trade Hill or CMC, divide and conquer. I lost both Javonte and Hall, trying to stay in the race. If so, who do y'all target with either of them? So, yeah, Herbert, Geno, Hill, Sutton, Godwin, Pickens, Wan'Dale Robinson, Brandon Cooks.
No, I think your team is still good.
Yeah, we still having CMC now. Pollard, his value could be going up. You probably could use another running back here. So I could see that. But I don't think, again, you don't have to trade, Tyreek Hill to do it. I think maybe you try to trade Cortland Sutton. And again,
I think Gus Edwards is a fine RB2 right now.
I don't know if I'd want to. I think I'd go higher than that if I'm going to trade Cortland Sutton. But I think you could go and get a.
No, I'm saying because he has Gus Edwards on the team.
Oh, okay. I see that. Okay. But I think, again, maybe like a Miles Sanders. If you're really wanting a running back, you could go Miles Sanders. Maybe David Montgomery, something like that. Raheem Mostert at the high end. You might be able to get it done.
I don't think you need to, though.
No, I don't think you go out of your way to do it, but I think you're a little bit thinner at running back for sure than you are at wide receiver. Or you take CEH and somebody like Sutton, and then you package that up, and maybe you go even higher.
Yeah.
right. Logan, Brandon Ayuk or Gabe Davis at wide receiver 2? I'm going to go Gabe Davis.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Gabe Davis.
Ashton, what does a brother need to do to become a mod? Nothing. I mean, I have to go in and add you two on. Just be here, be present. Like Walito does for most time. Don't miss the porn bots when they come in and drop their 17 porn, especially when we're doing this because we a lot of times we can't see it because we're up here in the comments. So make sure that doesn't happen, and that's or just come in and chat it up. But that's really all you gotta do to be a mod. If you want to be, reach out to me on Discord. Send me a DM, and because we probably could use more than one. Walito is you've been a mod for at least a couple of years, haven't you?
I think it's over a year now. Yeah,
Yeah,
over a
been
year
the
now.
one and only mod. I'm not even a mod, so in reality, in
Yeah.
my my own personal YouTube account, whenever I come and I'll watch like
Prop talk.
the prop talk and stuff. Walito could ban me from my own channel, at least my personal account.
I could do that.
You could, but then Walito would no longer be around because then I could just go into the TFA account and. But anyways, yeah, that's funny.
I mean, not only you, Cody, Robbie.
You could,
Yeah.
all of our own personal accounts. You could ban
Yeah.
all of us. What was this about? Better get that question right. I don't know which one that was.
I think he was talking about Tian's question because he donated the 200.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, TN's the absolute man for sure. Where are we at? Another Twitch question. St. Louis Cardinals. Can I get some advice for my whole team? I'm 5-2, have lost 2 of my last 3 games. I'm in a 10 PPR. Did he drop the rest of his team? Oh wow. Okay, yeah, there it is. So I have Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, Saquon, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Tyreek, T. Higgins, Odell, Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk, Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz, Dalton Schultz, Suck Up, Bills, Alan Lazard. Any advice for potential moves, or should I stay pat?
I think you keep it like this. It's a great roster, and if you're 5-2, you don't need to make any moves if you're 5-2. I mean, you have Derrick Henry, Saquon, and Travis Etienne. That's 3 top 10 running backs. You have Tyreek, you have T. Higgins. Then you have Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk. You're gonna get back Marquise Brown in like maybe 4 weeks. You have Ertz and Schultz at tight end, which are probably 2 top 10 tight ends rest of the season also. No,
I would say this, St. Louis Cardinals fan. If I was going to do anything, if this is a single quarterback league, I would drop after this week Kirk Cousins. Obviously, I don't know. Again, you may just picked up Kirk Cousins just for this week because once Herbert his bye will be over with after this week, and then as far as tight end is concerned, because I hate having 2 tight ends as well.
Yeah.
I think you could drop one of them
and drop Odell. He's not.
Yeah, and it sounds like even if he signs, it sounds like he's not going to be ready until sometime in December. And to be fair, he's not going to be useful for any
exactly.
team because he's going to have no time to be able to pick up whatever offense that he comes into. Because there's been a lot of speculation that he could go to the Chiefs. That would be the worst. I can't think of one wide receiver the Chiefs have added, picked up, signed, whatever that has been added in the middle of the season and has done anything. Because Andy Reid's offense is so complicated. He probably wouldn't even see the field that much. So he really wouldn't even be that much of an option.
I think no matter. I think no matter
I don't
where.
think you really need him.
Yeah, I think no matter where Odell goes, whichever team it might be, he probably doesn't play over 50% of the snaps.
Yeah, and we're still talking about a wide receiver that's 30-plus years old that's coming off a major injury. Less than 12 months removed from it as well. So, yeah, I don't think you need him either. So I think you could actually just make some moves there just by dropping some of these players and adding some players through waivers. But I don't think you need to go out and like make any trades. I think your team as a whole is pretty solid, especially Christian Kirk. I think is a pretty solid wide receiver 3 option that you have. Brandon Cooks, especially if he gets traded, could skyrocket in value as well. Marquise Brown's coming back. You're good at running back. You're pretty solid at everywhere else. So actually, I don't think you make any move. I think at the most maybe drop some of this dead weight you have and pick up some more through waivers. Or did I skip some of the other ones? Maybe I think I did just drop down.
Yeah, I think we're to
Yeah, I was supposed to
Javier.
be this one. Yeah,
Yep.
Javier. Sorry. Hey guys, how can I make the team better? 4-3 PPR, 12 team. Mahomes, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman, Michael Thomas, Kamara, Swift, Hawkinson, Hines, Foreman, Patterson, Elijah, and Njoku, and MVS. I'm hurting a wide receiver. I don't think you're hurting a wide receiver.
No, just Michael Thomas has not been healthy. That's it. But he, he he should play this week.
DeAndre Swift?
No, Michael Thomas.
Oh.
He did practice on Wednesday. Yeah,
And also, you can if that's I'm assuming that's Elijah, like Elijah Moore, or is that yeah? I don't know whether it's Elijah Moore or Elijah Mitchell. Both of them can be dropped.
Yeah,
if you needed to.
it's so weird with Elijah Moore too. Like they sat him out last week because he demanded a trade.
Yeah, he's not the first wide receiver to do so. Denzel Mims did the same thing, but
Yeah, I mean Elijah Moore is he's a better player, but
sure, no, yeah, no doubt. But it's just weird that we've kind
yeah.
of seen the same situation because Denzel Mims requested a trade last year and they
But
wouldn't do it.
I do hope that Elijah Moore gets traded. I think he could be a very good asset on a team that needs a wide receiver.
Yeah, I just don't see him doing it though. But like they also like to me, the Jets have they crushed this year's draft. They did such a good job with this year's draft. Sad to see Brees Hall, but they need a quarterback. Zach Wilson ain't it. Like they need to be smart about how they do this year because they need to be kind of like the Cardinals. If you remember, they drafted Josh Rosen in the first round,
Yeah,
and they were quick to move away from Josh Rosen. Obviously, they had the opportunity to finish. They had the number one overall pick. They were ready with Kyler Murray. I'm not sure if that's going to be an option for them because the way their record is right now, they're not going to get that kind of a pick. Now they could trade up, do some things like that, but they need to move off Zach Wilson. I don't think Zach Wilson's the guy. I don't think he's it. They have all the pieces in the world to be a really good team for moving forward. Like to be able to have Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, already, as pass catchers there. Brees Hall, once he's come back, he'll be healthy, ready to go. Like this offense is ready made to take off, but Zach Wilson's not is holding it back in my.
yeah. I think what they could do is bring in somebody on that. Bring in a veteran quarterback. Maybe someone like Jameis if he doesn't come back to the Saints or
Yeah. Or maybe they make a move and trade up to get somebody. But overall, with your team, I think you've really just been dealing with some injuries here. You're 4-3. Swift now back, I think is a big boost to your team. The rest of your options you have, I. Yeah, I think you just work the waiver wire. I think the wide receiver position is the easiest one to replace, for the most part, in my opinion. Through waivers and kind of going through that way. But overall, I think still, like I said, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman are still pretty solid wide receivers. And if you need depth, like I said, you could look at dropping a couple of these players. I mean, even if you wanted to, Cordell Patterson, I don't even know. I mean, I don't know if I want to drop him, but I think maybe you have some pieces here you could make a trade with. But overall, I still think it's a pretty solid team. Now you got everybody back. Once the buys are done, you should be in a pretty good spot. I really think Kittle will lose production to CMC. Dropped him to Fryer. Also feel Debo will lose out too. Not bad for Ayuk. Any thoughts?
well, you dropped George Kittle. Yeah, that was not a good move.
Yeah, I think you could have traded him for sure, Tam. If that's what you're saying, that you really dropped George Kittle. Because I see the point of what you did. Because I think on a week to week basis, you're gonna be able to trust Patty Fry far more than George Kittle. because George Kittle is kind of like a Tyreek Hill of the tight end position, right? He's gonna have these monster boom weeks, but then he's gonna have a lot of other just really down weeks too. So I can understand some of that. He's definitely gonna win you some weeks. He'll sway you a week, but I don't think you should have dropped him if that's what you did. I think you should have traded him for something else. He still has enough name value that you probably could have got something back for that. So let's see. Logan, would you trade Lamar and Stevenson for CMC and Kirk Cousins PPR?
No, I don't. No, I don't think I would.
This one's tough.
Yeah, it is. But I think Lamar gives you such an advantage as quarterback with his rushing upside. And if Ramondre keeps getting the usage he's getting right now, I don't think him and CMC are that far apart. And we don't.
The only thing I'll say about Lamar Jackson, though, is he has those 2 games where he scored week 2 and 3, 42 and 40. But other than that, it's been really pedestrian. 15, 15.8, 17.1, and 10.7 of his last 4 games. Now, the rushing yards have been there. He's had 70 plus rushing yards in 2 of the last 4 games, and he's also the lowest he's had is 58 rushing yards.
Yeah, it's just that the passing game has not been working
No,
at
the
all.
passing game has been terrible.
Yeah.
Surprise, and again, another team that they just will not surround him with a bunch of pass catchers.
Yeah. I think Mark Andrews went he dropped a 0 last week. I think he had
Yeah,
0 catches.
and I like where the Eagles are doing. The Eagles are doing it perfectly. They have surrounded Jalen Hurts. They're maximizing his rookie contract. The the Ravens have done a terrible job of doing that with Lamar Jackson, and that window is now closed because now it's time to pay Lamar Jackson. And so, like he's had one guy. I mean, obviously outside at the wide receiver room, the wide receiver room has always been no depth whatsoever. They bring in guys like Sammy Watkins. They draft one player, Marquise Brown. They should have kept Marquise Brown in my book. But then you had Marquise Brown, Rashad Bateman. You have a little bit better pass catchers here, but that's
I
what they're
mean,
missing.
they got a first round pick for Hollywood, which they used to draft. Was it Cal Hamilton or anyways?
Uh, I don't remember. I have to look.
Yeah,
I don't
but
remember that off the top of my head. But with this, I think I would make the trade to get Christian McCaffrey.
yeah, I mean, I think it's fair either way. Like I wouldn't mind either side of this trade. I wouldn't mind either side on it. But yeah, I get what you're saying with Lamar. So at this point, just say the best player in this deal, which is CMC. So yeah, I guess.
All right, let's see. Let's scroll down through some of this. Justin Fields top 4 scoring in the last 3 weeks on pace for 1,200 rushing yards. He has top 5 upside rest of the season, upside weeks 9, 10, 11. He does. He's actually looked really, really good on the ground. I think he talked about it. They've kind of took some of the plays from Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, kind of what they've been doing. They've installed some of that. This offense has definitely started to look much better. They still don't have a ton of weapons, but if they're going to continue to utilize them on the ground in the way that they are, Justin Fields is going to be a really solid option moving forward. Um, Fu Yang, is Rashad White worth benching? I'm guessing he's asking to pick up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
He's definitely worth. He definitely shouldn't
yeah,
be available. Like he's definitely
yeah.
somebody you could look to add. Now, if you had to drop any of these 3 guys you already had, no, we're not doing it. But Rashad White definitely should be on rosters right now. Like it's him. Like the top handcuff backs to me are him, Alexander Madison, Isaiah Pacheco. Who else? Um, I would say Khalil Herbert, but he's rostered in most every league. Kyron Williams is another name that I definitely want to have my hands on as an option there. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a couple I'm
Yeah.
missing.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah. He though, I don't know what they would do if Miles Sanders went down. Like, I don't think they would give him like the keys
Yeah,
to the
I think it
backfield.
would be. I think it would be a split with him and Boston Scott.
Yeah. Brian, any advice on leagues that have teams that hardly trade with one another? It's my first time ever playing, and I'm surprised there's not many deals in a 10-team league. I don't think it's just a 10-team league. I think 12-team leagues are very similar too. Because most what happens is people need to feel like that they've just outright won a trade,
Yeah,
right? And a lot
exactly.
of times it's bad trades where players will send guys like, they'll want Christian McCaffrey, but they'll send you 3 players that are on their bench that they're never gonna play. Be like, what, man? It's fair deal, bro. Like, I'm giving you 3 players. Like, no, that is terrible. Like, that's what ends up happening. Like, there's not more often than not, we don't see like fair trades. People need to feel like they won the trade to be able to make it happen. In 10-team leagues too, I mean, you have a little bit more depth on the waiver, so you're able to kind of manipulate that. So you don't need to make a trade as much. Um, but I mean, you can. I know a lot of people that just just send out trades every day to people to see what bites, to see if people will bite on one. That's an option you can go to. I wish there was more like trading and like just more involvement from a lot of leagues. I think it makes the league more fun that way. But yeah, I think for a lot of times you don't see them because of just like I just talked about. So because people just have this undying need to just completely uh, one side railroad somebody in a trade. Like, yeah, see what I did. I some of the trades have been sent to me over the years. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And you never know what people look. And I know this is a while ago, but in one of my home leagues, somebody actually did this. They traded Marshawn Lynch, like prime Marshawn Lynch, for who was the run? Oh, now I can't think of his name. A Lions running back. He never started. What was his name? Oh my God, what was his name?
Oh,
Kevin.
you talking about what's his name?
I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah, but that was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah, I know. Well, I've been playing for a while. But yeah, that the trade, it was before the season started. Somebody made that trade, and the guy just offered him. Just didn't think it would actually work, and the guy accepted the trade. Like, you just never know. Like, so I think that sometimes just sending offers out there, and hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, because he had a good rookie season, but then
Yeah,
didn't
and
do
I think
anything.
after that he did absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Old Kevin. That's one of my favorite things. Like within leagues to go back like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago and just look at the league and like see who players had and stuff like that. It's always fun to do. Anyways, Jim, start Trevor Lawrence or Daniel Jones, one quarterback. I'm going Daniel Jones.
I'll go Trevor Lawrence.
You just hate Daniel Jones.
Yes, I do.
Ashton, Russ or Jimmy G this week?
Russ.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate it. I don't want to play either one of them, Ashton. Is there
Yeah,
any
me
other
neither.
option? But if I had to pick, I probably would go Russ, but I hate myself for it. Zach Ertz or Greg Dulcich rest of season?
Zach Ertz easily.
I don't know if it's easily, but because I think
Mm,
he's going to end up losing volume, especially once Marquise Brown comes back. Because DeAndre Hopkins, him, Rondell Moore, the running backs, like he's going to get squeezed a little bit. But
I
I'm
don't
also
know.
not going to trust a rookie tight end that's had 2 weeks either.
I don't know. He was getting steady volume last year, even when they had D Hop and Christian Kirk out there with AJ Green. I don't know. I think you're still going to see a lot of volume in the end zone.
Uzi, would I be able to get CD Lamb for Ayuk, Schultz, and Foreman? The team needs a running back and a tight end. You might be able to, depends on
Yeah,
how
maybe,
desperate they are.
maybe. Try it. I would say try it. Send it out. Yeah, that's for the question he asked earlier.
Hi guys, just joining. You probably covered this, but what do you think of on Mark Andrews? I
Yeah,
mean,
a lot of people are getting worried with Mark Andrews because of last week's performance, where he didn't have any reception. Um,
it is certainly a just a 1 week thing.
yeah,
We
he's
can
still
rest
a
easily. That these games are going to happen, right? I mean, he had one earlier in the year against Buffalo where he only had 2 catches for 15 yards.
yeah, he's still for sure the tight end two rest of season, without a doubt. He's gonna get back on the right track. These games are this always happens like once or twice a year where the tight end just does fucking terrible. Like even Travis Kelsey last week against Buffalo, he didn't uh he didn't do much.
Yeah,
But
it is what it is. I mean,
yeah, it happens.
these
It
aren't going to
happens.
score monster performances every single week. So
Yeah, but he's gonna be fine.
yeah. Alejandro team, Carr, Najee, Saquon, T. Higgins, Ayuk, Ertz, ETN, Ben Swift, Deontay Thomas, Drake London, Myers, B. Rob, Carter, waivers. So would you add any of these guys? Or would you drop any of the players that he has for anybody on waivers? I'm going to say no. Outside of quarterback, but
I would drop Brian Robinson and pick up James Conner. Would you not rather have James Conner than Brian Robinson?
yeah, I think I would do that. Yeah. I just completely skipped right over him and all the options. But yeah, I guess, yeah, James Conner, especially now that he's back from injury,
And
drop Brian Robinson.
would you drop Drake London for Darnell Mooney?
No. I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna hold that. Actually, I think instead of holding Brian Robinson, I think if you want to drop Michael Carter, I think that could be an option too. Now that they got James Robinson.
I would do that after this week because I don't think James Robinson is going to be involved this week, and I think Michael Carter is going to get 70% of the touches this week. Or you can look to trade Michael Carter instead of dropping him.
Yeah, I think that would be an option. So, hey guys, I got Kelsey on a buy. Someone has offered me Kamara and Andrews for Eckler.
That would be a good trade, but if you already have Travis Kelsey, I'm not looking to acquire Mark Andrews.
Yeah, you don't need it. Yeah,
Yeah, but if you
I'm
didn't,
keeping Eckler.
if you were streaming tight ends, I would take that.
I agree. I agree. 96 teamer, 8 copies equals 12 teamer at 5th place. Pick 3 running backs: Carter, Jamal Williams, Deontay Foreman, Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards, Michael Carter, and Dante Foreman. We're not playing Eno because James Conner is coming back, and we're not playing Jamal Williams because DeAndre Swift's coming back. So Carter, Foreman, and Edwards.
Yeah, I think I agree. Brunel, back in here again. Hey guys, you guys answered my question earlier on who should I start between Bateman and Fryermuth. I forgot to mention I also have DJ Moore on my bench. Should you start Pat over DJ Moore?
Yeah. I mean, DJ Moore had a good game last week, but that's the first game that he's had like over 10 fantasy points, I think, or double-digit points.
I think I would go DJ Moore here.
I think I'm sticking with Patty Fry. Let's go with a safe option.
Justin just traded away Walker, Sanders plus Debo for Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Waddle, full PPR. Thoughts?
Great move.
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
it.
I think this worked out really well. Jay Money, would you trade Amon Ra for Amari and Pittman?
Yes.
I agree.
We need to see when what happens with Amari Cooper when Deshaun Watson gets on there, but that's still for another 4 weeks through 5 weeks.
Yeah. Trade advice: use rest of season projections to your advantage. Projections vary from site to site. Yes, that is true. Target needy, active, under 500 teams. Yes, that's also something you definitely can look to do. Teams are going to be a little more desperate. They're trying to do whatever they can. You can probably get a little bit better of a deal out of them than that. Luis, rest of season backup quarterback, Jimmy or Kirk?
Neither.
Rest of season, I'm going Kirk Cousins.
Well, the answer is neither because you don't need a backup quarterback.
True, unless it's a super flex league, then I think then there's a conversation. But yeah. Ashton, my Russ or Jimmy G question was for my super flex. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's Russ.
Yeah. All right. Then I'll go with stay there. Tony.
So you skipped the last one.
I thought we already answered that. It's just different.
Did we?
No, actually, this looks different.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry, Alejandro. Sit start K1, Cook, Chubb, Lockett, Ayuk, Gesicki, Mostert, bench, Eckler on bye, Keenan on bye, Juju on bye, Pierce, Gabe Davis, Kirk, Pollard, Waller.
Well, I'm playing Tony Pollard over Raheem Mostert if Zeke is out.
I think I would agree with that too.
And then I would play Darren Waller over Mike Gesicki.
Yep.
And I would lock it and Ayuk. I would keep it. No, I would put Gabe Davis over Ayuk. I would keep Lockett, and I would put Gabe Davis over Ayuk. Yep. So Gabe Davis over Ayuk, Waller over Gesicki, and Tony Pollard in the flex over Mostert.
Yeah. I agree. Tony, wide receiver was looking for us season. Dart throws, 4 on roster. Pickens, Bateman, Pierce, Lazard. Replace 1 with Wandell.
No, I like these options over Wandell.
If I had to drop somebody, it'd probably drop Alec Pierce. If I was going to drop somebody for somebody, for Wandell Robinson, but I don't think you need to. I think I'd probably stick with the 4 that you have.
There's no upside with Wandell Robinson. Like his ceiling is capped at like 11 or 12 fantasy points. Pretty much like every other Giants wide receivers.
Yeah. Okay. Luis, only worried about Andrews because of my matchup. I just got first seed. I don't want to lose this week. DMP all week. Hopefully he's still set to play tomorrow. Yeah, but I mean, you have to think about the whole year, right? Like, yeah, I mean, you're first, it's cool, but we're worried about fantasy playoffs. You're worried about winning the whole, like they say on Major League, win the whole fucking thing. Like that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to win the chip, as they say. So
yeah, when you get to playoffs, it doesn't matter if you're first or sixth, unless first because I know in some leagues first seed gets a bye in the first round of playoffs and they go automatically to the second round.
Which is a huge advantage, I will say that.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm not going to mortgage my whole team over 1 week either.
No.
Jared traded Stevenson, Kirk, Higbee for Mark Andrews, Chuba. Now with Cousins, Mixon, ETN, Chuba, Andrews, Waddle, Godwin, Pittman, Lazard, Michael Thomas, Sean Watson. Are any moves I should make?
Well, I don't like the trade you made.
No, I think you gave up too much.
Yeah, I would rather have the Stevenson side because I'm not even gonna consider Chuba Hubbard. I don't think he has any value at all. So you basically traded all these guys for Mark Andrews, which is way too much.
Yeah, I think you actually could have taken that deal and got something a lot better for him. And I don't think you really needed the tight end.
Because now you're going from Stevenson being your RB3 to having Chuba Hubbard as your RB3. So.
Yeah. Matthew, Andrews would end up taking over my flex over Debo, so not much as an upgrade. So I picked up Knox, Dolchich, Ingram, or Mark G. Also, as well as drop 2, B-Rob, Gus, Wandell, Rashad White, need kicker. That's why.
Yeah, that's Andrews. That's a trade for. There's a Kamara and Andrews for. What was it? Yeah, someone offered him Kamara and Andrews for Eckler. Yeah, we said no because you already have Kelsey, so no.
Yeah. Daniel Jones or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I would go Kirk Cousins here.
I won't do it.
Fantasy dog, playoffs is all that matters.
Yep.
You're god darn right. That is all that matters, right? We're trying to win the whole thing. Can you repeat the handcuffs? I mean, like I said, there's quite a few options for handcuffs, but I think the ones that have the highest ceiling that I definitely want on my team. Again, I say Khalil Herbert because I know there's leagues that he's actually out there that people may have dropped him, right? Short leagues, so I'm going to say him. But past him, I think guys that you'd be looking at are the Tyler Algiers, the Antonio Gibson, Alexander Madison. That's probably been dropped out there in your leagues that he could definitely be available. Jalen Warren, I think, is definitely an option.
I think
Who's
one
another
we
option?
haven't talked about is Sony Michel on the Chargers.
He
I
could
think
be, but we've seen Joshua Kelly start to play a lot better now. Joshua Kelly did get hurt, but he should be good to go back coming off the
yeah.
bye. There were other options that we talked about that I said.
I think most of them are rostered, right? If we're talking about guys like Rashad White or
Oh, Isaiah Pacheco is another name that I mentioned.
what about Zamir White?
Yeah, he definitely would be if something were to happen to Josh Jacobs for sure. And then Mark Ingram, I think could, as much as I hate it and it feels gross, if Alvin Kamara did get traded, he's probably the starting running back
Yeah,
rest of season.
he would get work.
S-
Yeah,
yeah, so he would be in the mix. Again, we talk about Jalen Warren.
I think it's
Rashad White, is if he's out there, he's 100% an
yeah.
option I'd be
I
looking at.
think a sneaky one is Matt Breida. If anything had to happen to Saquon in New York,
Yeah, I think he could be an option, and then James Cook also could be an option as well for Buffalo.
because the Giants really don't have anyone except Matt Breida.
Scar, Jimmy G, or Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton,
I'm gonna go Andy Dalton here too,
let's go. I
and then
got kept to say.
start Waddle or Gabe Davis. I'm going Waddle.
Yep, Jalen Waddle.
Okay, actually, that's a great point. Thank you guys. I completely forgot about playoffs. It's my first year, and I'm only doing so good because of this channel. Let's go, Louise. That's what I like to hear. Those are the comments that I enjoy hearing the most.
Now you
Super
got to
chats
bring
and all
me.
that stuff are obviously awesome and all that stuff. But I can tell you on a weekly basis, my favorite part is hearing that. Because people say, hey, you helped us win, you helped me with this, you helped that, whatever. That's what I care about the most. That's what I get excited about.
Yep.
All the other stuff is whatever. It's cool. But like I do this mainly because I just like helping people and I,
No.
enjoy talking about football. It's my outlet to be able to talk about the NFL and fantasy football, my stupid addiction to fantasy football. But I truly do appreciate it, Luis. Hopefully, we can keep rolling here because we're trying to win championships around here. Noel, start one. PPR, Kirk, or Ayuk. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman.
Yep.
Matthew, who do I drop for a tight end and kicker this week? B-Rob, Rashad White, Wandell, Gus, or Dallas and Philly?
Well, drop one of Dallas or Philly. Probably Dallas.
Yeah, Philly's defense, my goodness.
Yep, drop
And
Dallas.
then with them getting Robert Quinn today. Oh.
Yep.
Drop
Dallas defense. And then what tight end to pick up? Dustin Knox, Greg Dulcich, Mike G, or Evan Ingram. I would go Dustin Knox against Green Bay. I think he has the best shot to catch a touchdown.
I'm going to go Dulcich over Knox. Yeah. And then who are we dropping?
Dallas defense.
Who?
Did we just say Dallas defense?
But he needs a tight end and a kicker. I would assume that we need to drop
Oh,
2
okay.
players.
Okay. Then it would be Wandale Robinson.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Yeah, that's tough. I'm pretty stacked on running backs. I have Walker, Eckler, Stevenson, Damian Pierce. Should I drop Brian Robinson for Connor in case he holds in good trade value? Not
Yes.
too. Yes, I would drop Brian Robinson for Connor. Alejandro, rest of season. Hurst, Gesicki, or Ertz. I'm gonna go Ertz.
Yep. And
Ayuk, Ertz for Ingram and Pittman.
give me Ingram and Pittman.
I agree. Zachary, Derrick Henry, Ertz, or Mark Andrews, Hopkins.
Henry and Ertz. It's
Yeah, I agree.
close. It's very close.
Everett or Ertz, rest of season.
Gerald Everett.
I'm gonna go with Everett. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, with Mike Williams being out and Keenan Allen, we don't know how long he's gonna stay on the field. So, yep, Everett.
Hurts cooked KW3T. I'm not sure what you're asking, Alejandro.
I think he's just flexing on us.
I think he is. William, trade my Pickens for Singletary. I need running back depth.
I think you can.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can if you need to.
Yeah.
I hate dropping George Pickens, but if you absolutely desperate and you need a running back, but I would also wonder how big of a league this is because if Devin Singletary is sitting on waivers.
No, he's asking. He asking if he should trade Pickens for Singletary.
Oh yeah, nope. See, good point. It's getting late. Okay, I was up till 1 a.m. editing all the video that we put out this morning. So
You're Central Time though. I'm on the East Coast.
it's even later for you. It's 1 a.m. for you. But
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is. It's 1 a.m.
what time did you wake up? What time did you wake up this morning?
6.
6 a.m. or 6 p.m.
Listen, I go to school, Kev. Okay.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Okay. Yeah. So forget what I said. Trade my Pickens for Singletary.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would. If you need depth, yeah. Fantasy dog, got to go to work. Thanks, dudes. Much appreciated. My dog's name is Argos, by the way.
Great name.
Great name. Good looking dog. Hope to see you again and here again.
Yep. Thank you for hanging out.
We'll be back here again on Sunday. So so we go live every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. And we go live till 11:30, and then obviously every single Wednesday night we go live right around 9:00.
Or tomorrow night if you're in for any.
Or
DFS.
yes, if you're into DFS, we will be going live tomorrow night. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be me, Maddie, and D-Bro from Fantasy Pros.
D-Bro.
Talking about the main slate. So
we're getting closer to Thanksgiving.
I know. I cannot wait for that. That's when we have all the boys on for that one.
Is Ryan going to be there? Has to, right?
I think so. Ali Boss God. I have Amon-Ra, Higgins, AJ Brown, CD. Who do I start?
Do you only need one? How many do you need?
We're definitely going to answer your question, Boss God. But can you tell us? Do you just need one of these?
Yeah, tell us how many you need.
Need to start three. Okay. I was gonna say, man, you are stacked if that's all you have to start. So 3 of these. I'm benching T. Higgins.
I'm benching CD Lamb. I would bench CD. So we're locking in AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then it just Higgins or CD.
Yeah, I'm sitting T. Higgins.
Well, hope that helps.
Well, I mean, we agree on 2 of the 3 on each other, but just one over the other. It's just for me, T. Higgins. Obviously he's in a very good offense, but he's hard to trust on a week to week basis on how much volume he's going to see. We know CeeDee Lamb is the alpha in that offense. He's the number one target getter in that offense against Chicago. I'm not really all that worried about Chicago's secondary. Now losing Robert Quinn is going to be a problem for getting pressure on Dak Prescott, and so I just I just lean towards CeeDee Lamb, Amon St. Brown and AJ Brown, but it might be a made decision for you if something for whatever reason if Amon St. Brown didn't play this week. I don't know why you wouldn't. I expect him to play. So that's why I lean those three and would sit T. Higgins. Yeah, William, I'm an idiot. 12 team. I said trade. Yeah, I know. I read it. I know. Okay. Pardon me, Mr. Perfect. You know what that's from?
No.
Oh my God. Dumb and Dumber? You never seen Dumb and Dumber?
A long time ago.
Oh, Lord. All right. Zach, can you rank Hopkins, Olave, and CD rest of season? I'm going to go Hopkins, Olave, and CD, but they're all really close.
Whoa. I'll go CD, Hopkins, and Olave.
I'm sorry. I'm all in on Olave. I love Olave.
And I'm the Saints fan.
And it's with CeeDee Lamb, like, I just kind of feel like he's more named right now. I mean, listen, and I was all aboard the CeeDee Lamb hype train this offseason, thinking that he was going to be more than what he's been, but he's been okay this year. But I mean, again, and maybe he starts to see more targets, but he's right now he's fifth in he's fifth among all wide receivers in targets. He's third in target share with a 33% target share in this offense, but he's averaging 22. He's 22nd in fantasy points per game at 14 fantasy points per game. That's kind of what he's always been. Like he's never been a guy that's been able to sustain this ability to be able to put up a lot of points all at once. I mean, he has two really good weeks this week, or two games this year, week 3 and week 4, where he scored 22.7 and 21.7. But other than that, it's been 4.9, 15.1, 10.3, 12.7, and 10.6. It's just kind of what he's always been. And so, like, I love CeeDee Lamb, but I don't know if he's ever going to become more than that. So, I don't know. We'll see on that. I think it's close between all three of them, but that's the way I would look at it. ZA roster rate: Mahomes, Kamara, Pierce, Diggs, Hill, Ertz, Thielen.
Eight out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really solid team. Luis, for wide receiver, I have Hopkins, Adams, Olave, Alec Pierce, Allen sitting. I'm not sure if I should make some changes. I feel like I'm lacking in the 8-man league wise.
No, I mean, you have Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins, and you have Olave plus Keenan Allen. No, that's very good.
Yeah. I would agree. Apollo, St. Brown, Brandon Cooks, or Lamb. I'm sitting Brandon Cooks.
I don't want to do it, but I have to. Yeah, sitting Brandon Cooks. Man, I hate to do it.
Yeah, I know that's your boy. That's your brand. Is Brandon Cooks, but he just hasn't been very good this year.
Oh yeah, he's been. It's not his fault, but he hasn't.
Yeah,
been,
I mean, he has like 2 really usable games so far this year. Week 1 where he scored 15.2, and then 18.7.
Yeah, this passing offense has been just terrible as a whole.
Yeah, which is, I mean, let's be fair. Davis Mills kind of turned into a pumpkin back into Davis Mills, which is fine.
Yeah, but they're not throwing as much as they used to throw the football last year.
No,
last year they used to be trailing by 15, 20 points in games. This year they've been able to keep it close in every single game they've played, and so they've been running the football much more than they have in years past.
Yeah, Paul. I don't know what people say. He's gonna have a great week. Like,
I mean,
I don't know.
he has a good matchup.
He does, but the production just haven't been there. And like I said, I feel like
Yeah.
these two teams are just going to run the shit out of the ball against each other
Yeah.
and just like see which one will breaks first, and which player is able to have the better week. Like, I just don't think there's going to be a lot of passing going on in this game
So
whatsoever.
it's definitely going to be Derrick Henry.
Should be. Should be. David Pierce has played really well, but yeah, it should be. Who do you prefer, Godwin or CD rest of season? I prefer Chris Godwin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very close, but yeah, I'll say Godwin.
Last one from Louise here. Mike G or Irv Smith rest of season? I'm gonna Irv Smith.
Irv Smith.
All right. We have made it to the end of the questions. Oh, nope. Emilio got one in. Emilio, Dak or Trevor Lawrence?
Dak Prescott.
Full PPR. I agree. Dak Prescott. So, anyways, that being said, almost 3 hours. We're just past midnight here, Central Time. Walito over here. Walito, I appreciate you jumping in. We're gonna have to do this
Yeah.
again. It's always a good time. Filling
Of
in for
course.
Cody.
Yep.
So I appreciate everybody checking it out. Like I said, we will be back again here live again tomorrow night with our DFS show. And so if you're into DFS, even if you're not into DFS, I always say this a lot that that even if you play season long, like you're playing redrafts, whatever, listening to DFS content actually will help you for the week to really make those macro decisions between like a flex option play and everything else. Because DFS players dig in far more than any redraft content you're going to read. And so being able to just listen to some of the matchup specific type stuff, I think is always a good way to go for DFS content. Just to be able to make some start decisions. So again, if you want to listen to that, you can. We'll be live tomorrow night. We'll be back again Saturday night for Prop Talk, and then Sunday we'll be back Sunday morning for your get you ready for this week 8 with all the news. We'll have all the inactives and everything else by then. We'll take you right up until lock at noon on Sunday. And then again, we're back again Sunday night for waivers. And we'll do the whole thing all over again next week. So appreciate everybody checking it out. Appreciate all the support. TN, appreciate you always with the super chat. I appreciate all the comments. Appreciate everybody rocking with us all night. We will catch you on the next one. Have a great night. Bye.
We out.
Yeah. We out.